Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
To you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillar. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media. And you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it, and you've seen other people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, we are back for another episode. And today we're going to deal with a subject matter. An interesting subject matter, especially in today's time, y'all. How important is the ring? Okay, I think it's kind of a big deal. That's what I think. We're gonna see what y'all think, but I think it's kind of a big deal. But how important is the ring? Now, before we go too far into this, first of all, I want to say shout out to all my folks who listen on a regular basis, because y'all make up the fam around here, and I appreciate y'all big time. Appreciate y'all big time. You want to become part of the fam? Now's your chance to subscribe. Shout out to all the people who give comments after the stream. You guys do a great job. You help with the algorithm, even help give me an idea or two about something I should cover. So I appreciate that big time. Appreciate that big time. Shout out to all the people who hype me up every chance they get, y'all. I know you can't do it all the time. So it just makes sense to save some for me, y'all. It makes sense to save some for me. Why not give it to the best show on social media? Okay, why not? And shout out to the people who hit that like button, y'all. And keep in mind, it's never too late to hit a like button. So if you're newer to the channel, there's a lot of stuff that's done and you ain't covered it yet. Man, all you got to do is go listen to that. Hey, all you people stuck at some job, you're getting through the day, you're grilling through it, you're torturing through it. Maybe you settling along through it. Just go watch an old episode. That's what you do. That's what you do. And you help whole 8 hours be gone in no time. Okay, whole 8 hours will be gone in no time if you're checking out previous episodes of the Roger Report Live. And shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty. And I got to give props where props is due, y'all. Yesterday, my main man dropped me off $5.95, and I don't think I mentioned it during the show. You know, I would rather say it twice than not say it once. And because I did that to my brother there, you know, I know he act funny sometimes. I know he act funny. But since I did that to the brother, I'm going to make Gold P the sponsor of today's stream. So shout out to Gold P, man. I appreciate your continued support. And that's real talk. Shout out to Gold P, my main man, y'all. That's my main man, believe it or not. Now, I know he's terrible sometimes, but he's still my main man. Love and appreciate that, brother. All right, y'all. And let me get some shout outs to some of the first people to check in this morning, because it's always great that when you start the show, you got a few people checking in with you. But y'all know how it goes. There can only be one. And that one today is the main man himself. The pit master is in the building. Shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable. He is what we like to call around here the Highlander of today's stream. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. So shout out to him and the pit crew. So shout out to Mr. Suge to you. Shout out to J Dub. You know, appreciate y'all, brothers, and all you do. Real talk, real talk. Shout out to Floyd Thompson in the building. Coming through right behind him. Yay, yay. Glad to have you here. Music Man is at the cool table this morning. Great to see you. Great to see you. Last Zulu done checked in. Great to have you, brother. Trail Bentley representing as he always does. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hail Hydra. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Patrick Saint is here. What's good, my brother? What's good? Bucket is at the cool table. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Shaka Nulu is in the building. Great to have you, brother. Great to have you. User Op 1 is checking in. What's good, my brother? What's good? Afro Merchant, what's good, my brother? Glad to see you. Inspired Truth Broadcast is in the building as well. And my main man, my greatest hater at the moment, y'all. My favorite hater, though, the Great Black Reset is in the building. Glad to see you, brother. Glad to see you. And that's real talk, y'all. And I want to give some shout outs to, again, shout out to Gold P, who dropped that $5.95 yesterday, and I don't think I said it. So shout out to him. Shout out to Music Man 1982. Hit me with the first super sticker of the day. Thank you for helping me get off to the good start, my brother. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Trail Bentley dropping the 5 and the 57 cents on the Trail Bentley tax. Glad to have you, brother. Glad to have you. And that man say, which ring? The engagement ring, the wedding ring, or the suffer ring? Well, you know what? I guess all those rings are important. They definitely hold some level of importance. But even though it's important, I hope we keep the suffering to a minimum, y'all. I hope we keep the suffering to a minimum. And that's real talk. That's real talk, y'all. So look, y'all, you know, I'm looking at the world as I see it. Y'all know that. Okay. I look at the world as I see it. All right. Now, well, let's shout out to Shaka Noodle. He said the ring is as important as the times I think about toilet paper. Woo! Woo, woo. Now, that's saying something there. That's saying something there, y'all. Now, I'm going to say this, though. My perception. What does that ring mean? Okay. Is that ring helpful? Is that ring hurtful? Is that ring a necessity? Is that ring a requirement? And I'm going to say this, y'all, as a black man, you know, and I'm sure a lot of y'all who are here today have already seen it. Y'all see a lot of women complaining about stuff. And I'm going to keep up bringing all these different things I see women complaining about, and women asking for this, women ask for that. I do get that women in a society, to get stuff, they beg. Okay? Now, we may not want to look at it as begging, but they're always asking people for stuff. Because that's how women deal with the world. They manipulate the world. How do I get what I want? But more importantly, how do I get what I want by me not actually making an effort to do it and getting somebody else to do it? So, women will use shaming language. Women will try to guilt trip you. Women will try to make you feel bad about their situation, even though you have no real connection to them. One of the things that women will use in certain ways is they'll talk about community. Okay. But they only bring up community when there's a responsibility for a man to do or something they think a man should take on as a responsibility. Then it's like community talk. Well, what about the community? What about the community? Now, you weren't thinking about the community when you weren't trying to get something specific for yourself. Okay. See, if you think you good, ain't no community talk. Okay. So that's what I'm saying, y'all. It's begging. All right. Now, if you think you flossing on somebody as a female, you ain't worried about no community. So it's kind of begging. When you get some job and you think you in this high position and you can be over other people and look down on folks, ain't no community talk then. It's always community when, as a woman, she wants to beg for something. When she wants to get something and don't want to put in no real effort to get it, she gonna try to make you feel like it's your fault. Y'all, how many years have we heard black women talking about what the black man didn't do for them? Okay. And a lot of y'all think they actually mad at us for what somebody didn't do. But if they think about that stuff the way they present it, I got to wonder how come they ain't got no problem with the white man. You niggas didn't save us from slavery, but you love the white man who put you in slavery. That's not consistent. I'm just saying, y'all, that's not consistent. Okay. You niggas won't provide for us, but I won't do anything you niggas want me to do. That's not consistent. Okay. You complain that I won't provide for you, but you won't do anything I ask you to do. Now, how is that supposed to go together? But in their mind, it does. Okay. In their mind, it does. Y'all, you niggas won't protect us. Women won't come under your leadership, though. How am I supposed to protect you when I don't even lead you? Okay. How am I supposed to do that? Look, I need you to go to your sister's house. You can't tell me what to do. Why you need me to go over there? Why I got to do something? Because you said to do it. Who is you to tell me what I'm supposed to do? I can be where I want, anytime I want, how I want, do whatever I want. But I'm supposed to protect her? Y'all, see, the thing is, maybe we don't truly connect it that way on an overall standpoint, but they just be begging. Because if you talk community, but every time you talk community, it's just you trying to extract something out of men, then you ain't really talking community. What you're doing is begging. And I'm going to help black men get to the point where we start to realize collectively, they just begging. Okay? Now, if it was quid pro quo, wouldn't be begging. If I can depend on you and you can depend on me, that ain't begging. That's, hey, man, I ain't got it right now. Can you handle this for me? Yeah, I got you. And then when you can't handle it right then I handle that for you. I got you. See, that ain't begging. That's reciprocal. All right? Now, of course, men and women are not the same. And women do have ways to be reciprocal to men. And the true unfortunate part is one level of reciprocation that most men won't. Sister won't even give it to you. What's that? It's just some simple appreciation. Some simple appreciation. He got the laughing emojis, but shout out to the Great Black Reset. He says the quote unquote ring Roger left in the bathtub. Hey man, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. Don't you ever feel bad because you left a quote unquote ring in the bathtub. Don't you ever let nobody make you feel bad over that. You know what that means? That means I did a good job, Great Black Reed said. That's what that means. You see, you ain't gonna shame me, brother. You ain't gonna shame me. Okay? I used to leave a ring in the tub. I was a kid once too. Okay, you ain't gonna shame me, brother. That means I did what I was supposed to do. I got that dirt up off me, brother. That's what I did. I got that dirt up off me. That's why there's a ring in the tub. Okay, we gonna take care of that later. But y'all ain't gonna shame me. I'm gonna tell you that now. You ain't gonna shame me. But of course, people will shame you, especially females, when they want to get something out you, but they don't want to help you do nothing. Okay. Now, if I clean up the tub behind you, you should be willing to clean up a tub behind me. That's the way I look at it, y'all. That's the way I look at it. All right. You know, we supposed to quote unquote be working together. And y'all know women, you know, a lot of sisters, they love this word partner, right? They talk about partners all the time. But when it's time to do your part, because even if you truly believe you're a partner, how come they never try to show up to do their part? See, I don't buy into all that partnership stuff because partnership says it implies just off the word alone in itself that you're going to do your part. But black women don't believe they have a part to do when they're with a black man. Now, if they with somebody else who's not a black man, they seem to be able to figure out there's things they need to do. I'm not saying all of them are going to do it successfully. Some of them just going to downright be stupid. They're going to mess it up no matter what kind of guy they get. But for the most part, black women seem to know what their part is when a non-black man is involved. Now, I don't suppose believe you can figure it out when a non-black man is involved, but you cannot figure it out if a black man is involved. That don't make sense, y'all. That don't make sense. And I do believe we probably should move a little bit different. And I do believe as a black man, it is okay for me to treat someone as what they are. Now, a woman could have a ring, right? Okay. See, I respect the ring. You know, let's say, for instance, I see a woman, she look cute to me. I go to holler at the woman. But now I see a ring. What do? I let it go. I don't bother with her. Why? She got a ring on. If there's a man out there that loves her enough to give her a ring, regardless of what I think about her, I'm going to leave her alone. Okay? I mean, there's been some guys who've married some women that ain't been the right woman to marry. And in the black community, that's extremely often because let's keep it real, divorce is often in the black community because black women don't like being married to black men. And that's something that black men going to have to learn to deal with and make different moves because of it. Okay? Y'all, I've told you time and time again, I'm going to keep on saying, if she makes it to her 30th birthday and she's never been married, that's loser. Now, can you get her to accept she's a loser? I don't know. Okay, that's going to be a struggle in itself, y'all. Recently, I remember talking to a lady who was trying to tell me about her daughter, and I say, nah, your daughter's a loser. She had a mother's reaction. She ain't like that. She was like, don't you use that word on my daughter. I said, man, she is what she is. And until she can accept that she's a loser, how she gonna ever win? You see, I was messing her head up, okay? Because she didn't like that word being, her daughter wasn't there. Her daughter wasn't there, but she brought up her daughter, and and I'm just keeping it real. Your daughter's a loser. Don't you put that word on my daughter. Look, man, I don't want to fight. Okay? I'm just trying to be helpful to you. You telling me about your daughter who ain't got it together clearly because don't no man want to put a ring on that finger. Okay? And see, y'all, this is something we as men got to learn to be clear about. If no man put a ring on that finger, that means unanimously as men, every single man that has been exposed to her ain't gonna do it. Now, I know women gonna try to tell you all kinds of stuff to talk around it. Well, somebody they proposed to me. I didn't accept. Look, man, everybody got a story. Everybody got a story. We're black men, y'all. The world doesn't like our excuses. So should we really care about other people's excuses? You either married or you ain't. You either got the ring or you don't. I don't really need no backstory of why you couldn't make the job happen. And truth be told, women say some extremely dumb backstories. Because a lot of black women, they'll claim 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men done proposed to them. And I got to look at you and try to figure out how you so dumb that men are proposed to you, but you don't like the men, yet you stayed in a relationship long enough and did enough to make the man comfortable enough to propose. This don't sound intelligent to me. And y'all can say it sound any way you want to. I'm looking at the facts that they're describing. If you tell me somebody proposed to you, but you didn't like them enough to marry them, why would you spend that kind of time with them? Why would you have that much sex with them? You know, what are you doing giving up whatever he needs so he can feel comfortable to propose to you, and you don't even like him like that? This don't sound intelligent. But see, we as men, you know, us brothers, we'll let a woman talk to us and say stupid stuff like this, and we'll let it be a flex for her. It's like the most retarded thing you can just about come up with. Yeah, man, all these men like me so much that they proposing, but I spend so much quality time with them that they comfortable enough to propose, but I don't like them. What about that sounds intelligent? Okay. What about that sounds intelligent? Okay. Shout out to y'all, boy. He said, your daughter could win a game with 21 if I gave her 20 points. Hey, y'all. I have brought this term loser, which I believe is now starting to go to the forefront for people. Now, they're not necessarily putting the definition on that I'm explaining it. But see, loser means something. They may not know exactly what I mean, but they know it means something, which is why they're going to have reactions the way they're going to have. So at the end of the day, how you a woman, and men are out here seeking women on a regular basis, and you can't come up with a husband. Like, you got to be a loser. I don't need to explain nothing. You can't tell me anything about a man if no man would marry you. And if you claim people want to marry you, but then you don't want to marry them, hey, okay, so in your raggedy mind, you think the guy's a loser. So if he's a loser and he wants to marry you, what does that mean? It means you're a loser, because losers think you on their level. You know, you can't tell me all these losers coming up to you and want to marry you, but you ain't on their level. That don't make no sense. Okay? That don't make no sense at all. Random guys just don't go around proposing to, let's say, who's an unmarried woman right now? Random guys don't go around proposing to Rihanna. They be like, oh, she rich, she famous, she got this, she got that. She probably don't want to go through this. Now, I'm not saying a guy ain't confident. He's just looking at how stuff go. But if random men are proposing to you and you say I ain't gonna marry them, that means you think they a loser. I'm not saying the men are actual losers, y'all. But if a woman surmises they're a loser, that means the men surmise that she's a loser, which is why they asking in the first place. Because losers gonna ask losers for stuff because they at the same level. It is what it is. Shout out to my favorite hater, y'all, the Great Black Reset. Let's see what he's doing this time. He says, the ringing in my ear listening to Roger. Boy, you have been blessed. That's see, some folks, y'all, don't even understand how they get blessed sometimes. You see, you could do something for a woman and she just don't appreciate it. She just don't appreciate it. Well, sometimes you can get out here and do a monologue for a brother, and that brother can't appreciate it. Now, shout out to the rest of y'all that can. But sometimes a brother can't even appreciate it. And you got to kind of leave him where he at sometimes. You know, you just got to hope he'll figure it out one day. The same way you hope these ladies will figure it out one day. So it's all good, brother. It's all good. You know, I ain't got to hate you just because you hate me. It's fine, my brother. It's fine. You my favorite hater. And that's real. Okay. Well, maybe all my hoes demonetized, maybe, but you my favorite hater, man. At least one of them. At least one of them. So it's all good. You know. And real talk, y'all. Women need to know the truth. All right. And a lot of men, y'all need to stop accepting being in a woman's position because some of y'all like being in a woman's position because you compare yourself to women all the time. You know, one of the things that I like, one of the things I like the least, when a lot of men be like, well, you know, but what is the other way around? I'm not going to put myself in a woman's position. I ain't got to worry about the other way around. I'm not mad at anybody who does it. I'm just telling you, I personally don't necessarily like it because I'm not going to put myself in a female's position because I just don't see myself in no female's position. And there are going to be some things different when it comes to a man and some things different when it comes to a woman. Now, some stuff, yeah, it'll stay pretty much the same. But there are things that will be a little bit different here and there. Okay? So at the end of the day, man, I ain't feeling all that. That's why I don't really say too much about what is the other way around, because I don't care. Okay, no, I'm a man. Respect me because I'm a man. You know, and some guys, because they are so invested in not being a leader, they say, well, you know, some of you men, y'all ain't leaders. Who is you to say that? Y'all ain't ready to lead nobody. Who is you to say that? Especially if you're talking about a sister who ain't got she ain't got no standards in the first place. So who are you to tell somebody that they can't be with a woman who ain't got no standards in the beginning as if he don't qualify? He automatically qualifies because he exists. See, some of us, we don't want to look at stuff how it really is. And you can tell we're not really all the way there by some of the stuff we say. How can any man not be a good leader for a black woman when the general thing about black women is they don't have standards? Because if you have standards, you don't make a bunch of exceptions. Well, this guy, he got some curly hair, so I'm going to make an exception for him. It's not a standard. Okay? Because you're going to also make the same thing. Well, he got green eyes, so I'm going to make an exception for him. See, you can't say, I'm going to make an exception for the curly hair guy, then you make an exception for the guy who got green eyes. Okay? Then it comes to, well, this guy's driving a nice car, so I'm going to make an exception for him. That's not no exception. See, this is a pattern. They ain't got no standards, man. Well, I think this guy got some money, so I'm going to make an exception for him. Not confirmed. I think he got some money, so I'm going to make an exception for him. That's stupidity, y'all. And I've said time and time again, stupidity is a choice. Sometimes we just don't pay attention to it when we see it. But stupidity is a choice, okay? You know, shout out to Trell Bentley. He said, is he the LeBron, Kobe, or MJ of haters? You know what? I don't know, man. That's a good question. I would have to really pay some attention to him because he might be the greatest hater of all time. So it could be MJ. It could. I ain't gonna throw that out the window just yet. He could be the greatest hater of all time, okay? You know, but hey, if you're gonna do something, do it well, right? If you're gonna do something, do it well, okay? Shout out to Elder Blood. Let's see what Elder Blood is talking about. He says, under the white man's and black women's new world order, marriage and wedding rings therefore are the chains, yokes, shackles, and turn black men into beasts of burden under harlots and Nephilim. Now, I'm gonna say this. See, black men, sometimes we give away too much power. You're the head of your relationship, which means the relationship will go as you dictate it goes. I understand women have different agendas. But as a man, you got to eventually ask yourself, why is her agenda important? She's supposed to be following you. Can she give you some suggestions about the agenda that you're on? Sure, she can. Long as she say it respectfully, proper place, proper time. Sure, because you willing to talk to her. She your lady. You willing to talk to her. Okay? You willing to talk to her. But at the end of the day, I don't care where she's trying to go. If I can't get to where she's trying to go, going to where I'm going, then we just don't go there. And see, as men, we gotta allow women to make a choice. Either you coming with me or you ain't. I ain't got time to be worried about what you gonna choose. I'm going here. Be lucky I'm letting you come with me. You know, a lot of brothers, we don't think in that way. We believe we got this prize because some woman will accept it. Nah, I can't think like that, Joe. I am a man. If I'm the leader, which black women been telling me and not a leader since I've been a child. Well, if I'm the leader, that means I'm deciding which way we go. You can make a suggestion. Maybe I'll agree with your suggestion, but we going where I'm going. And if you don't want to go where I'm going, you just get left behind. It is what it is on that note. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, shout out to my hater again. He's shout out to Great Black Reset again. He says, I'm running rings around all the other haters. So he's just gonna take the MJ status. But I will give him this, y'all. He said, at least I pay the troll Roger. We can give him that now. See, we can at least give him that. At least he paying the troll. I guess that does put you at a higher level of hater than other people. So I say we give him MJ status for the day. We'll give him MJ status for the day. But y'all see, why am I bringing up this ring? All right, because there's a lot of women who want a lot of stuff from men. They don't want to do what we tell them to do. They don't want to make the sandwich when we want the sandwich. They won't even offer us a sandwich when they know we hungry, but they complain. Now, my thing is, I look at a lot of these women, and I be trying to figure out where your wedding ring at. Why are you complaining, but you don't have a wedding ring? And this is something I really hope black men from an overall standpoint can really learn to accept. Why is she complaining, but she doesn't have a wedding ring? Now, people may say, well, what you mean, Roger? Look, I'm not saying a woman can't complain, but who should she complain to? It should be her husband. If she believes there's a problem that needs to be taken care of, she should tell her husband. And you see, guess what happens when you use that type of logic? If she tells her husband about a problem, what would her husband probably do? A black man gonna figure out a way to fix her problem. It's that simple at the end of the day. Or if for some reason that's not the right move, he's going to introduce her to the idea that the problem you thought you had is not an actual problem. So you can let that go and get over it. Now, also, he could decide that this is a problem, but it's kind of a community problem. So other brothers may need to be involved in a solution. So what can he do? He can take this idea that has been presented to him, talk with other brothers, and now they can think about this particular problem and come with a solution of some kind. That can happen. But in order to do that, she has to actually tell her husband. Now, let's be realistic, y'all, especially due to social media. There's men out there who will say, we want y'all to do this for women. I ain't saying they ain't got a right to talk. I'm not saying they ain't got a right to make a suggestion. My thing is, do it for what? Okay. Well, see, we need to do this thing for women so women can be okay. We in America, they're already okay. Black women need to be protected. They're the least protected women in the country. Well, black women ain't married. Why would they be the most protected women? Why would they come in second place? If you're the least married woman, how come it ain't mathematically making sense to you that they should be the least protected women? See, sometimes y'all, we just don't really put our thinking caps on, and we just go with narratives, or we allow people to tell us narratives, and we have no pushback for them. Now there's a lot of women out here today, and there's a lot of men who have an issue with the fact that Black women are the least protected group of women in America. And shout out to all my people listening outside of America. Okay, shout out to all y'all. But they'll tell you, Black women are the least protected women in America. And I'm sitting there like, why wouldn't they be? Heck, shouldn't they be the most least protected woman in America? Let me get this straight. Black women, the women who are the least protected should not be in that position while being the least married at the same time. What are we saying? Wait a minute. So white women should be less protected than Black women, even though white women are more married than Black women? How is that supposed to make sense? Okay, you may say some Hispanic woman. Is she not supposed to be more protected than Black women when they're more married than Black women? See, you can break it down in any kind of group you want. All right? You could say some Italian women. So Italian women shouldn't be married. Shouldn't be protected more than Black women when Italian women are more married than Black women. Like, however you want to break it down. Whoever you want to break it down with. Some Indian women are supposed to be least protected when it comes to Black women, and they're more married than Black women. Like, what are we talking about? But see, even guys will say this stuff because they dumb enough to be worried about what a bunch of unmarried women want. And they'll come out saying it to me, and I'd be like, yeah, they're supposed to be the least protected. How come you're not smart enough to understand they're supposed to be the least protected? They are literally the least married. Why would they not be the least protected? And people say, well, what about kids? Black girls are the least protected. Okay, how many Black girls live with their dad? Why would you be more protected than some girl who lives with her father? And see, we as men, we will entertain these dumb thoughts that women put out there and act like it's a real issue. And you'll have guys trying to scramble to quote unquote help the women. Why would your daughter be more protected than my daughter if I'm married to the girl's mother? The child lives with us as a couple. How could your daughter be more protected than mine? Like, that don't even make sense. Well, there's an exception to every rule. Well, if you super rich and you got bodyguards for your kids, okay, cool. I ain't gonna argue with that. If you got a bodyguard, cool. Okay, cool. But I don't understand why you would even think for a second that, your child gonna be more protected than some other child who live with their daddy. What sense does this make? Okay. Now, what does it got to do with a ring? There's people who got rings, and they get stuff that people who don't got rings go without. Okay? It's that simple, y'all. If you got a sports team in your town, you may have seen a parade. Your squad may have went out there and won the ring at some particular point, and they might have had a parade for your squad, whether it be your football squad, your basketball squad, your baseball squad, or whatever the case is. Y'all know who didn't get a parade? The teams that didn't get the ring. Do you look at teams who didn't get a ring? Would you say we should give them a parade because they're not celebrated enough? They ain't won squat, ain't got no ring. Would you go out there and say, well, they should get a parade? I know they ain't win no championship, but that other team won a championship and they got a parade. So they should get the same thing that those champions got, because we got to make sure our people are treated like the champions are treated so they can feel with feel the right way or have the right spirit about. No, if you don't get the ring, you don't get the parade. Okay, that's a sports thing. You don't get the ring, you don't get the protection. That's a human thing. That's a marriage thing. If marriage ain't important to you as a woman, I ain't saying it gotta be. You just deal with the stuff that come without being married. And that's okay. And don't look at me to care that you're suffering from something because you didn't get your ring. Why would I care? But don't you care if somebody breaking your house? Look, I don't think nobody should be breaking in people's houses. But if you got to face a burglar by yourself because you a female and you ain't got no husband, man, that's between you and the burglar. It's that simple to me. Okay. If I got to face a burglar, I got to handle that, right? So I got to do the same thing you got to do. You didn't get no husband. You could have got a husband and got somebody to be in between you and that burglar if you wanted to. I can't even get no husband to come take care of me. I'm a straight man. I can't even get it. You can get somebody between you and the burglar. If the burglar come to me, I got to deal with the burglar. So why would I be concerned that you didn't choose to get a guy who's willing to get between you and the burglar? Why would I care? Don't make a lot of sense. But if the ring ain't important, neither is somebody getting between you and that burglar. But I'm going to hold fast right here because we got my main man, Inspired Truth Broadcaster, that came up. So I'm going to go ahead and get him the flow. What's good, my brother? Glad to see you.
Oh, glad to see you too. Glad to get up on this panel here. I hope everybody's having a great Friday. It is the end of the week and it's the weekend, baby. All right. So I want to kind of I guess go back a little bit to some of the core topics here. Like what I've been seeing, and I've been vexed by this for a while, is that there's a lot of Black women that want the benefits of community without the responsibility of community. Communities are formed by families. Families are formed from marriages. So you get from the small cell to the larger cell, and then you get into this thing called community. But the thing about this, and I've been trying to figure out why and how the hell it happened, but I think maybe it's a part of this concept of being a woman entitles you to innate values some type of way. So maybe they feel like they are in community just purely by existing without actually having the responsibilities of being in said community. And I think that's the closest I can get to some sort of a rational explanation for all of this. The other thing is that I think that when we go and kind of zoom back outside, we have different levels of stuff. So if you want to be in a community, you have responsibilities. If you don't want to be in a community, you don't have those responsibilities, but you also are kind of off on your own. Now you have to take care of your own thing. If you want to go out into the woods, then okay, you don't have to worry about getting a fine for parking somewhere. You're out in the woods. You're out in the wilderness. You got to go and huff it yourself. But and then you have also, sadly, some that will go and marry a man, but at the same time, they have contempt for the man because they don't value that man. They value another community. So you'll have consequences for being a double agent and consequences for being a free agent. And a lot of times that doesn't really register in the mind. And I guess that's where I'll land.
Well, guess what? Everybody can go get a good rookie deal if they want one. But they don't want that rookie deal. They want that I've been in it for 7 years, busting my behind, making things happen type of deal from jump. Now you got to go get a rookie deal. You're 18, go get your husband. That's my thing. Yeah, there's a lot of people who say people should wait for marriage. And they have their theories on why they should. But look, I'm going to be realistic. The people who marriages last, a lot of times those are people who got married very young. We call those people stupid. Okay. And I'm not saying any particular person here. I'm just saying the masses of America. We call young people who get married early stupid when that's the formula where people stayed together for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. See, it's hard to be married for 50 years if you didn't get married till you was 45. That's a hard thing to accomplish because now you gonna even be alive that long. It's a hard
That's
thing
true.
to accomplish, you know. So, and I think some people probably have heard me say that, you know, I don't even want to talk to no married woman who ain't been married for at least 30 years because what's she gonna tell me that's gonna be any value to anybody? I'm not saying it ain't possible, but I think it's gonna be an extremely rare case where you have a woman who's been married for under 30 years that can really give valuable information that should be spread around to other people. I'm gonna say there are some exceptions to the rule, but in general, yeah, if you ain't been married 30 years, I don't even really want to hear from you. Now, yeah, would I listen to a man? Absolutely, because men have to deal with a world that women don't have to deal with. So sure, they can give a lot of valuable information. Okay, but at the end of the day, you're supposed to have things that go along with the position that you happen to be in. Y'all, I'm gonna just say this quick since Black Rule done came up, I'm gonna get out the way. Hey, if you on special teams and your job is to run the ball from your side to their side so you can score this touchdown, guess what? Getting hit come with that territory. It's supposed to happen. I don't see nobody running the ball back and think he ain't supposed to get touched. That's literally the job. You signed up to carry this ball from one end to the other. The job of the other team is to literally touch you up. It come with the territory. So when women say it's not important, that's fine. Now I know they actually mean black men because they don't have no issues when the guy is white. You know, so they do mean black men, and black men need to see that. But at the end of the day, I'm cool with bad stuff happening to you because I understand what the position is. Now, do I really want some woman to get hurt? No. But if you single and you get hurt, ain't that who it's supposed to happen to? Because it ain't supposed to happen to the married woman. They are supposed to be protected. Why would I look for a married woman to get hurt and a single woman to be okay? It don't actually make sense. But I'm going to turn the floor over to Black Rule, let him do what he want to do with it. You got it, my brother. Is that me or is Black Rule still on mute?
I think he's still on mute.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Loud and clear.
Oh, sorry. I hope you brothers are doing okay. The folks in the public chat. Sorry, I've been moving around the last couple of weeks, so reception and airtime has been a little bit chaotic for me. So sorry about that lately. But
well, I just want you
it's
to
interesting.
know. I want you to know real quick, Black Rule. We saw that last super because I know we cut off at the end and you put that last super chat in there yesterday. We saw that, brother. You bastards lucky I can't cut
No,
to
they look. Let me tell you. You guys yesterday, and I'm talking to all of you, every single damn one of you that are listening live or may listen in replay. You guys are fucking lucky I didn't get on this. I wasn't able to get on this chat.
So he gonna reiterate it.
You guys are fucking lucky. You know, nobody who came after MJ deserves to be in the same conversation as MJ. Period. Nobody who came after him. They graze on the grass, they graze on the field, they graze on the produce produced by MJ. There is no Kobe, there is no LeBron, there is no Tracy McGrady, there is no Vince Carter. None of those guys exist without Michael Jordan. None of them. They either don't play in the NBA or there's something else. Period.
All right.
Now, back on the subject.
Hold on.
Sorry, I had to get that ran out right quick.
You messed me up, Black Rule. I was finna stunt. I was just finna stunt on you. I was finna stunt. but you ruined it. So go ahead.
But back on the subject. I don't want to get off the subject too much. Well, first of all, you said something, Roger, that I want to take exception to just most recently. You said that we speak negatively about people who marry young. I don't recall very many black men speak negatively about marrying young. I don't. Even brothers who don't marry or don't marry young typically do not speak very negatively. Now you got your, I mean, you guys had the Pookie debate and whatever. You have a certain strata of brothers who just are a certain kind of way, who feel a certain way about marriage in general, right? Who will speak negatively about marriage, but that's in a small minority of men, black men. Most men, once you get married, we're pretty much going to support. You know, we're not going to speak negatively about a man who has made that commitment. Religious, or especially if the brother's religious, but even if he's not, we're going to respect that. And if you marry young, in most cases, we're going to hope for the best. We may have our concerns, but we're typically not going to speak negatively about a black man being willing to make that commitment. No, that's mostly a woman, especially black woman issue, where they'll speak very negatively about marrying young. And that's because they want to keep that little pussy on the market for as long as possible. So I was kind of motivated to correct that. I know it's kind of off topic, but I do want to emphasize the point. Black men in general, as a concept, do not have a negative view about marriage. They have a negative view about all the shit that has been done to marriage, especially over the last 60 years. And that's why even
Did we lose him or was that me?
Oh, I don't hear him. I thought that was me.
Okay. All right, well, let me jump in real quick. Shout out to Black Rule. We lost you for a moment. Brother. But I'm going to say I agree with what Black Rule said. That's really the way I meant it, because I was saying the masses of people. Yeah, it's a bunch of women. And then you got this group of men that they accept that women are the rulers and they're going to do everything they think going to please women. So those are the ones who have an issue with getting married young. Okay. Now let me say shout out to No Placeholder. He says, Uru, Uru, Uru. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. And I appreciate the super chat. Also, shout out to the Great Black Reset. He says, ooh, sir, you're way off subject. Yeah, y'all. I was gonna come up like, hey, Black Room, I hate to tell you to you, but I'm gonna need you to get on subject. I was gonna try to pull it, but he but he stopped on his own too quick. But shout out to you, Great Black Reset. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. And yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that today. Today, we're talking about how important is the ring, which is technically what we talked about yesterday, but in a total different context today. And since we lost Black Guru for a sec, and I see he on mute, so maybe he muted, and that's what happened, because I see he on mute right now. So I'm going to go with You Choose the Bear is in the building, so let's try to get you in while that brother's on mute.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday, brother.
All right. It's going to be a long weekend. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy your weekend. Don't cause no mischief and don't get no woman pregnant. And certainly don't give them no ring. Remember, they chose the bear over us. We certainly don't owe them anything. No protection, nothing. Okay? They can't go through life and handle their lives by themselves like the grown up that they are. And if things doesn't work out for them, they can always call the bear. They can call the bear to fix their car. They can call the bear to help them with their rent. They can call the bear to give them a hug. They can call the bear to help them with their student loans. They don't need us. They've been claiming it for a long time. So don't give them no ring. Don't worry about them. They'll figure it out. They'll bear it. Thank you.
Oh man, no, that's a great business plan. We got to create an app for that. 1-800 call a bear. You know, the bear app,
They'll bury. I hear you, brother.
bear
I hear
dash.
I would say you're wrong for that, but you're not. uh, but you know what though? My thing is that needs to spread more. The idea, I think black men especially, we got to learn to be comfortable with women suffering for their own choices. Look, in America, you can be free. You can be quote unquote independent. You could kick it how you want to kick it. The rules are, as long as you ain't hurting nobody else, as long as you ain't damaging nobody else's property, you supposed to basically do what you want to do. So you ain't got to marry nobody as a woman. But see, as a black man, I understand she ain't got to marry nobody. We ain't got to beg her to marry. We can if we want to, but we ain't got to do it, and she ain't got to accept none of us. So I got to be okay with her suffering with a world that's going to treat a woman who's single a little bit different. You know, when a murder happens, it may more than likely be her. I got to be okay with that. I don't feel guilty. Yeah, black women are unprotected, so they're not married either. You know, and am I supposed to feel away because a group of married women is getting better results than a group of unmarried women? Am I supposed to feel some kind of way because of that? Is that quote unquote patriarchy? No, that's just easy math. Why would I care about that? It don't concern me at all. You're not married. You ain't part of the crew. Why would I concern myself about you getting bad results, especially over a woman who is married? Why would I care about the unmarried woman bad results more than the woman who is married decent results? It just don't make sense at the end of the day. So I think that we got to learn to refocus on how we thinking about things and how we talking about things. Okay, Create. I see you backstage, but you got your camera on, brother. I need you to turn that camera off so I can bring you up. Okay, I see you, brother. I see you. You. Yeah, I see you, but it's only me that can see you. Okay, and we got you. Oh no, that's the same person. That's the same person. All right, y'all. I'm trying to focus on what Creator is showing me right now. So somebody jump in there real quick. Gentlemen on the panel. Anybody grab
Well,
the mic and do the thing?
I mean, yeah, yeah. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Do you hear me?
Somebody in the
Oh,
chat said I was
yeah.
buzzed because of the Bell question. Why would I be hurt about that? I'm no problem with the Bell. Y'all can do whatever you want. If you choose to be single, you get your single results. The problem is that they don't like the result that they are getting. They don't like the fact that men have reached the apathy level. Well, the men who think like me, who are very comfortable with watching them suffer for their own decisions, they don't like that. So if you are to me, I wouldn't care about that. I walk past them all the time. Flat tires, car breaks down, all that good stuff. I don't feel compelled to do anything for them. I just, matter of fact, I hit the gas even harder when I see them on the side of the road.
Isn't it amazing how the dating market has just basically become like
I don't mind watching them go through it. Matter of fact, they're about to go through it right now because the big daddy government is treading a lot of the safety net because they can no longer afford to pay for all those single cat ladies. So if they think it's bad in 2026, wait till 2030. They'll really understand how bad it is or how bad it can get. I hope they got the Bear number on standby. 1-800 call the Bear. The Bear got a nice stimulus package for you. A hug, the bills, everything. And in fact, I heard that the Bear paid for 100% of the bills. What about the Bear?
And all kinds of bear too. Like you got your grizzly bear, you got your teddy bear, like any type of bear you want. Just let that bear go ahead and handle it.
As long as it ain't the Chicago Bears.
Oh, I was just gonna introduce this man. He gonna say that. That's. We know what we doing well right now, so I'm gonna let that slide. We doing well.
It's interesting. It's interesting, looking over time, how things have changed, how the perspectives and the thought patterns of women have changed. And, somebody mentioned government, you say feminism, government, Grace Society, I guess that started in '64 with Lyndon Johnson, welfare programming. Because, Black women used to be very aware of the importance of their contribution to families and communities. That your responsibility is to the church to participate in the bake sale and to make food for the block party, right? And to look out for the kids when they're playing. The greatest generation, silent generation. I mean, I guess maybe the older boomers. It used to be much more aware of their responsibility to families, to marriages, to families, to communities. This is very much the things that you guys talk about um, are not necessarily how Black women have always thought. Now, maybe they did those things begrudgingly in those prior generations, and which is probably the reason why they took so quickly and so easily to a lot of the feminist programming. So, I'm not necessarily saying, Black women of prior generations were so much better in terms of their basic character, but at least it was a part of the environment, the programming, the accountability that Black people, men and women, men to men, women to women, placed upon each other to that you are going to contribute something to this community. You are going to contribute something to this family. You are going to contribute something to you. You are going to volunteer to this school. You are going to help to raise money for the little league baseball team to buy their uniforms. I mean, they used to do that stuff, you know.
Well, the women have
Oh,
become used car
but-
salesmen now. Like they're
oh,
putting like
after you, I gotta get these new guys. I'm gonna let you go ahead since you just started, but I gotta get these new guys that's up into the conversation. Go ahead, Inspire. Finish what you
all
say.
right. Yeah,
Damn,
I
I
was just
want
saying.
some, Roger. What the fuck you got? Boy, sound good. Whatever that is.
It's delicious too. It is. I ain't gonna even lie to you, player. I ain't
Oh,
gonna even lie. I'm
smacking and
finna go back
everything.
on
I
mute.
hear that smacking.
I'm finna go right back on mute because I ain't even mean for y'all to hear, but it's delicious. Real talk. It's delicious.
Dang, now I want it. Oh, all right. So basically, the ladies have become used car salesmen. They got some spin going on. They're taking the high mileage, high age product of lessened value and marketing that and calling it a classic. Like it's just a whole lot of spin that ends up going on. And that's pretty much where we are. We're in the age of spin and like kind of taking things, turning them into positives, and then trying to put that out on the marketplace and see who buys it.
All right, I'm gonna get creative now. And right after creative, I want to give it to you have no you have no chance. Go ahead, creative.
So that's a good point. And I think the other day, Brunk was trying to talk about how we was financing. That might have been you. How we was financing our own demise to a degree. For lack of a better word, right now, but we're literally financing the debauchery against us. But I wanted to speak on, yes, the ring is important because remember when they was young, I think Uru was just talking about back in the day. We always refer, it's crazy, just like the Bible. Is probably why it's important because you can always refer to the habits of back in the day and how things were somewhat better morally back in the day when things for us were a little more challenging, right? We had to work these jobs. It wasn't no white man, how you gonna go over there and work at white man? It wasn't none of that. Everything that we was doing then was working, even though we were blind. It might not have been right. It could have been the Brady Daddy was gay and all that shit, but it still had you lined up. All the wrong that Mr. Cosby did or whatnot, but it still had you lined up. All of what Martin Luther King did still had you lined up and had a direction to had the women to want to move in a certain direction. They were actually competing for that ring. That ring actually meant something. Now what happened is a lot of the women that didn't get chose, right, now have to devalue the whole pot in order to make them valuable. I will repeat, the women that did not get chose, right, and did not get chose properly or didn't do things the right way, want to devalue the whole pot. So now that it makes them feel now we all kind of even. It kind of want to either move the goalposts or level the playing field, if you will. And this is where we are today. So now you got the B's and C's or the C's and D's that really want to play like they A's and B's and they not. And so now they want to devalue everybody so that everybody basically is C. It don't matter your value, your true value, and what you contribute, you still a C. And so since we all C's, well, the ring don't matter now. Well, what's a ring? Well, I got everything that you got, and I got everything that a married one. What would need a ring for? That's an excuse for not getting chosen and not want to be proper. But I'll land there.
All right, shout out to you, brother.
Let me say this. You're definitely be.
All right. You have no chance. You got the flow.
Good morning, fellas. Good morning, brothers. Good morning, chat. Today, you brothers gonna assume leadership even though y'all don't like it. Today, you need to understand the ring is still valuable and it has its ultimate value because the ring belongs to the black men and it only belongs to the women that you give it to. It don't matter what they think. Don't matter what they say. Don't matter what they do. They can't get it unless they get it from you. So it still has the value it had last year. It still had the value it had of the yesteryears. You just have to choose wisely whom you put that ring on. It's time to stop playing. If they want to be losers, let them be losers. Go out there and pick you some winners, man. I'm gonna land my plane there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, people have these perceptions of what they're supposed to get, what they're supposed to have, and I do understand a woman begging for stuff she see another woman get, and I'm gonna highlight this. Now I don't know if you was joking about this, Lena, or not. Okay, but I think it's something that's important that we need to kind of deal with. Oh Lord, what? Hold on, what did Lena do? It? She said something about protection.
Yeah.
So there we go.
She said.
So black women have to be married to be protected.
Yes.
What's so bad about that? Like, why is that? Why? And you could be joking or whatever. I don't know if you're just saying it as a real question. Maybe you just want to know and understand. What's the problem with that? Why should they be protected if they're not married?
Can I give you an answer to that?
Well, hold on. Let me just say this. There's nothing wrong with a woman being protected. But when you say someone's being protected, you're talking about somebody else doing it. Now, if you want to protect yourself, knock yourself out. But when you start asking why somebody else should do the protecting, see, now you got to come up with a reason why the other person should be involved in the first place. So if you're saying should black women have to be married to be protected, why do you believe that they should get protection from some other party that they're not attached to? How does that even make sense in your head? Because I think women do ask that question, but I don't believe they actually think about the question itself and what sense it actually makes. How do you say you're supposed to get something from another person without being attached to the other person?
I
Now,
think I
I'm
want.
gonna answer that. I'm gonna answer that
Well,
question
hold
after
on,
I
hold on.
just
and
go.
This one brother wants to
emphasize.
get in.
Hold on. We need to. You need to emphasize because you're not just talking about protection. You're talking about all the risk and the cost associated with protecting another person. Because when you're talking about protection, very often you're talking about the possibility of someone being injured or killed in order to provide you with that protection. So you're a stranger, someone who has done nothing for me, has invested nothing in me, may not even have any concern at all about me, even in the most casual way, and yet I'm supposed to risk my life and future and all the costs associated with my loss that might be attributable to other human beings, including the possibility of my having a wife and children and other people that care and depend on me business interests. All for some broad theory of your being protected. I mean, how dare you even really even think that that is something you should be entitled to outside of us being married? What right do you have the expectation?
You can get some level of protection from the cops because you pay taxes, but outside of that, real time protection, no.
All right.
Yeah,
Now
that's a
you
job.
hold on. You chose the bear was trying to get in, and we cut him off. So I'm gonna let him get in. Inspired two, I was gonna go to you next, but you just said something, so there you go. And then I'm gonna get you have no chance, and then we get usual business for an opening statement. You
Okay,
chose the
but
bear. What were you about to say?
yeah, but listen, these women talking about we should protect them, but they won't even smile at us in the streets when they see us. They are the meanest to us. Okay, so I'm supposed to protect you, right? I go at it with a guy, I beat him, and I get arrested, and I got a $2,500 bail bill. Is this random woman going to come up with the bail money, or come up with with half of the money to bail me out? I don't think so, because these are the same women who are complaining about going 50-50 on a date, on a $150 date. They don't want to come out of pocket for $75 to go out on a date with you. But you think you're going to risk jail time, and you think they're going to come up with bail money for you? $2,500 bail money for you? Meanwhile, they don't spend $75 on you. You could be with a woman for years, and if you ask her randomly to give you $50, she won't give it to you. But these are the beings that I'm supposed to protect. Oh hell no! You can get the protection from the government because they are an extension of the government. Okay, you can get protection from the government, from police, from the U.S. Army, but from me randomly, no, I don't owe you anything.
All right, you have no chance. Get in
You
there.
killed the bear, remember?
Uh, um, they know what they're asking. They know exactly what they're asking. They are manipulating men. They sit around and come up with tactics, verbal tactics, to manipulate men to do what they want. They know the cost. They're not stupid. They understand the cost. But what they do in their manipulation is they hypnotize you into thinking that they think it's frivolous what they're asking. So once you start thinking it's frivolous to them, then you will frivolously put yourself at risk to protect them. They know what they're asking. I'll end there.
All right. Matter of fact, inspired truth. I'm gonna give you. Go ahead. You had anything else you wanted to say in that? Go ahead and get it out. Because we're gonna give usual business opening statement afterward.
I just wanted to just kind of like piggyback on that last statement there. There is cost involved. A lot of times they kind of like uh, try to minimize the cost of potential divorce. Like even before you end up actually getting to any type of courtroom, there's a nasty habit of just snatching cash before you go. It might be 50,000, it might be 100,000, it might be 1 million, depending on what you have. Before you ever even see it inside of a courtroom, but they'll promise you, they'll just swear that, oh no, it's not a risk. Like, oh no, this isn't going to cost you anything. Like, yeah, it's a lie.
All right. All right. It was a super chat. Shout out to Jerome Payne. He said that ring is supposed to represent the circle of trust and cooperation, and with that comes protection. Period. I think that is sound advice. Real talk.
Mm.
Makes
Mm.
sense to me. Shout out to No Placeholder. He says they got the police. They use the police. Please. So I guess I guess he's saying that it ain't really necessary. And I'm gonna say, oh, hold on. There's one more by Elder Blood. He says black women exercise taxation without representation on black men daily. So I guess that means we owe you nothing. And look, y'all, I think black women should be confronted with the idea that them even asking us to protect them is nonsense at the end of the day. Will I protect a black woman who's married? Sure. Because I'm doing something that's gonna have another man be cool with me. It ain't because of the woman. Because the woman gonna feel like she owes me nothing. See, once you help a woman out, usually you're gonna get a thank you, and that's where it ends. If I help a black man, number one, if it's a wife, number one, it's probably gonna be a wife or somebody I'm attached to in the first place. Because why would I even be in the same place at the same time if it's a wife? Now, something can randomly happen in a grocery store, but if I risk my life to save some man's wife, he's gonna thank me for real. She might say thank you if I even get that, but he'll thank me for real. He'll give me some type of connection. He'll help me out. You know, he'll help me get a job. You know, say if I was looking for one, might help my nephew get a job. He'll do something to show he actually is thankful that I helped with his wife if we happen to be in some grocery store or something and something terrible went down. A woman, she might say thank you to. You might get a thank you out of her. Yeah, I'm putting my risk at for I might maybe I get a thank you. Nah, I think my life is more valuable than that. It's just that simple to me. My life is just more valuable than that. But let me let usual business get in. You got the flow, my brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Salute to the panel, to Roger and everybody else on in the chat. Um, I guess when you're dealing with women, women are always making calculations. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all?
We hear
Oh,
you.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, all
We
right,
can't
cool.
hear
You
nothing.
you on
We can't hear
side.
All right,
nothing.
nigga, nigga, we ain't dealing with you right now.
You know that's a dangerous question. You know that's a dangerous question.
I was playing with
Hey,
fire, bro.
You
I
gotta
was
act
playing
like you
with
being
fire.
heard.
That's a question for the
Gotta learn your
gremlins,
lesson.
boy.
Mm-hmm. Better act like
Okay.
they hear you.
Better act like it. Okay, okay. What I was going to say is that well, I think somebody said women make calculations. They always make calculations. They know what they're doing, and because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with how I actually look at women. Women are generals of of their own life, in the sense that they have no problem sacrificing an army over here, an army over there, and an army over there of somebody else's children. Repeat that again. Women are they cool with being doing generalship. See what I'm saying? They don't have no problem of telling that army of people to go die, those army of people to go die, and those army of people to go die for my will. So you have to understand necessarily what you that you on the battlefield, man. And I guess against me, since I've been kind of always looking at the world through that kind of lens. Hey man, certain things I just ain't gonna do for nobody without no guarantees, man. So always make your calculations when you're dealing with women. Simple as that.
All right, we got Truth Teller here as well. So Truth Teller, jump on in.
Hey, fellas, quick, could you repeat the question, Roger? I want to make sure I answer it
She
purposely.
said, do you have to be married to get protection?
The answer is no, right? Because there are certain levels of protection you get belonging to a certain social group. Our problem is we don't understand that there's a hierarchy that exists. We don't respect leadership. That's one of the first major problems. We don't respect leadership, nor do we understand it. And I'm specifically talking about men. But there are specific levels of protection that can be shared in a community. But the protection these women are talking about are the type of protection you get from a man that you're dedicated to. But our problem is we don't know how to separate the two. Hence, you have men running around saying, protect all women. You should never lay your hands on a woman. You shouldn't argue with a woman. You shouldn't speak. If she starts going, you shouldn't say nothing. Just go ahead, mind your business. All the stuff they say when they want to tell you that a man should just be quiet and keep it moving, right? So they say stoicism. Stoicism isn't supposed to be used the way we use it in our community. That's not how stoicism works. But they tell us to use it when she's going off. Hey, just don't talk back, or if you talk back, you sassy. All this weird stuff. That's where the problem is. Our understanding of what protection levels women are supposed to get, generally speaking, versus what they are trying to get. And I don't blame them for trying to get as much as they can out of it. It's our fault for not identifying and making it clear what protections they do qualify for. Because we don't even know. Because if I ask any of y'all right now, if your sister call you because somebody laid their hands on her, who gonna ask her, well, what did you do? Nobody. Y'all gonna fly out there and try to protect your sister no matter what she did. And we've had this conversation before. So, of course, we need to reflect on this and make sure we understand what protections go to what parties for what reasons at what level. So we can understand what we're talking about. And I think once we do that, we're good to go.
I'm gonna say well said, brother. Well said, because my sister can call me and tell me she need protection. I'm gonna ask her what her husband doing about it. I'll help him protect you because you my sister. But if he ain't doing nothing, why am I doing something? You not my woman. You my sister. It's a difference.
You better than me. I ain't even going that far. I'm gonna just ask. I'm gonna be like, "What did you do?" And if I don't get an answer to that, I'm like, listen. First of all, she's not gonna call me. My sister already know. If she ain't got no man, she just gonna have to deal with whatever that situation is, or call the police. Because if you ain't in the right completely, there's no point in calling me.
All right. Shout out to Elder Blood. He said, Roger, read my last truth and satire comment. Okay. All right, let's see what Elder Blood done said out here, y'all. Here we go. He says, in my opinion, Roger in chat, based on what I have painstakingly learned of the past generations and current ones, black women owe black men a black tax 24/7 daily. Has your black woman paid her taxes lately? You know what? I can agree with that one wholeheartedly. If we accept the role that we're supposed to accept, there's nowhere in the world that these women don't owe us. And they owe us because every day we make their life better. The thing is, I think we as black men, we sell ourselves short. Go ahead, brother.
Can I, because Truth Teller made an excellent point about different social groups and how with being affiliated with certain groups offer certain protection. That is definitely true. And obviously the higher esteem and status and potency of that social group presumably affords a greater protection of the members or affiliates of that group. But it all starts with man and woman, husband and wife. That's the basis for everything from which all those other things are built. So what happens when the majority of the people of a particular group are not married? It makes impossible building and maintaining all those other social groups. Look, when everybody's married, you got a great YMCA. You got a great Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. You got a great church when everybody's married, right? You got great schools. All those social groups that offer all that protection that Truth Teller rightly described is all fortified by the foundation of man and woman, then children. Well, when you don't have those, you cannot have those protections because you don't have that basic fundamental foundation. Because that man being willing to die for that woman and then those children, form the basis for everything else after that. And if you don't have that, you don't really have anything that's sustainable.
Now, I do think that when it comes down to it, I think we're past the time where we're supposed to actually start presenting this to women and making them understand you don't get something for nothing. Because they do bid for all this stuff. Protection being the main one that y'all gonna hear about. And we need to make them face. Why would you ask for protection when you're not married? See, from a general concept, we as men, we don't do that. Why you need to be protected? You're not even married. What's the point of protecting you? What you gonna do for the quote unquote community as an unmarried woman? You gonna have some kids and raise them right? Chance of that is no. You gonna go ahead and start fixing dilapidated buildings? Chance of that is no. You gonna go pick up the trash out the park? Chance of that is no. What is the unmarried woman gonna do, quote unquote, for the community? Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying every single one didn't do nothing, but for the most part, what do unmarried women do for a community?
They provide a certain type of entertainment. So
But yeah, they can do the buzz down and come in the jump off
They
from every man.
they create costs well in excess of return on that cost.
absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
everything they do create an expense for which there's no return on investment. Virtually everything they do. They consume in excess. They create household systems and children that consume in excess. They create a bunch of expenses that you would not have to incur in lieu of them being unmarried.
And
They don't contribute to community. They destroy communities. They destroy communities.
And more specifically, they destroy other marriages.
yes, and
So you
and
got to be
um
true.
Fantastic point. Fantastic point.
and to risk following up Uru and Truth Teller because they're 100% right. For those who don't understand what they're saying, the simple rules are followed. One, men must respect other men, ultimately. Two, you must respect the wives and the women underneath his covering. So his wife is to be respected because she's covered by him. His daughter is to be respected because she is covered by her father, and they both submit to his authority. Anybody that's out here uncovered, man, they are unruly and full of chaos, and they deserve nothing. Simple.
And when you mentioned daughter in particular, when I know a man, and especially if we're friends and or at least friendly or friends, internally his children, but particularly his daughters, become to some degree a surrogate daughter of mine because of
Yep.
him.
Yep.
I think very differently about the daughters of men that I know. Very differently. I feel an obligation to some degree to protect them. Sort of, and it's not intentional, it's not anything that I consciously think about, but it just happens automatically. When I know a man, and especially if he's a good friend of mine or a neighbor, when I know him, I'm immediately protective of his daughters. And
Right.
I have observed other men treat my daughters the same way.
And to me,
I
that's an
could,
automatic thing. I know I went to a
yeah.
party one time, y'all.
Mhm.
I went to a party with a friend. He was kicked it with a guy that he knew from grammar school. I didn't know the guy at all. We get to the party, we doing stuff. So we end up in the pool with these two young ladies, right? So the guy that he knew, He come out and he say, look, this one right here, do whatever you want. This one over here, hands off her. Now, it turned out that was like the neighbor's kid that he said hands off on. Now, was we trying to do something, with any bad intent? No, not necessarily. But they were attracted females, we're men. Y'all know where things can go. So he just told her, look, hands off this one. The other one, do whatever. So obviously he not friends with that one young lady property.
Because
But he cool
here's
with
the
the other
thing.
one.
This one over here. Oh, this one over here. Because what he was telling you is this one over here, Roger. I got an answer for whatever y'all
Right.
do.
Yep.
I got an answer for that shit.
Yep. I'm not gonna
So,
lie. I'm in
so
that
y'all
same
can bring
situation
hell
too.
my way.
Yeah. I've been in the same situation too with my friends and their daughters because we all got kids around the same age. And my friends and their daughters, honestly, when I look at their daughters, if I close my eyes, all I see is them, right? My actual friends, the people that I've known for decades. And if I look at their kids, my first thought is them. Oh, that's my homeboy. Okay. They look like him, but I see
They
him. Okay,
do. Oh man.
I'm going to take responsibility because this is my boy, right? I'm going to look out for my boy. My boy looks out for me, and this is his kid. So of course, that connection is made instantly, and I think all of us have had that, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, we just it's part of the community. But what happens is women try to detach themselves. They do the same thing with everything. They'll detach themselves from the responsibilities of being in the community, but still want the benefits of being a member of the same community. They don't
That's
want
what
to do the work, but want all the benefits. And they do that with
that,
everything. But we don't call them out for is what happens. A lot of men just say, hey, that's just what they do. When back in the day, there was repercussions for them doing this kind of thing.
that's
They
exactly
want
what I
us to
said
be
earlier.
community units. Okay? That's all they want us to do. Protect,
And on,
provide, and shut up. Be the
and on
community units.
and
I
on
don't
top of
believe in
that,
that. Yeah.
and then on top of that, basically, it's kind of like that saying the idle hands of the devil's workshop. Like if you are not married, like then basically you end up in a situation where a lot of other things can happen. A lot of other different connections can happen with no real framework around those connections. So it's a job. Like you give somebody a job, they're preoccupied with the job. If they're not doing the job, then they're doing any and everything else.
Yeah.
And
You know,
there's wait,
remind me, it's a white show, but those of us of a certain age remember the television show Happy Days, Richie Cunningham and
Oh,
Fonz or whatever.
mhm.
And even though the show aired
his
mostly in
sister.
the 70s, it was based on the 50s,
Right.
right? And there's this one episode where this beautiful divorcee moves into this community. And man, they treated that woman like she was the devil itself.
I
we gotta
remember.
get we gotta get this bitch out of this community.
They listen, man. If y'all could
That's
get,
And
I
funny.
don't know if it's on YouTube or not. Y'all gotta watch that episode, man. It was for real, for real.
yeah, it was like, she was, we gotta have some prayer visuals and everything because we have got to get her out of our area.
I
But
gotta
that's
see this.
kind of how a lot of women used to view divorcees. Being a divorcee was like a curse word to
Yeah,
women
yeah.
in particular at a certain time because they knew what kind of potential trouble they were for a community.
What did you do? That's the first thing. It's like, what'd you do?
Well, it's not even just that. It's the fact that, back in the day, it's a whole lot of things that wrapped around that whole divorce thing. My mother and my aunt gave me the spill, right? Because I already told you both, my mother is actually end of silent generation, and my aunt is actually 2 years younger than her and is 3 years younger than her and is the beginning of the baby boomer generation. So both of them are older, right? They were in their 20s in the 60s.
Wow.
they broke me down on why you would never want to be a divorced woman and how you would be looked at back in the day. This is also the time where women didn't wear pants, by the way, when they were
Break
in their
that shit
20s.
down. Go on, give us some couple jewels.
So basically, well, first off, it wasn't just the fact of why you got divorced, and they assumed because you couldn't manage your marriage appropriately, right? Whether he cheated, whether he was a bum, whether he did whatever, you didn't manage your marriage, and directly related, you didn't manage your family appropriately. So now you can't be trusted, right? That was the first thing that they said. Is like you can't be trusted, right?
Yeah.
And not only that,
It was also and it was also assumed that you had betrayed that man, that you had been unfaithful.
That's right. What did you do?
Why else would he divorce you? Because back then it wasn't women divorcing men like that. Why would your husband divorce you unless?
Yeah, I mean you had to have
different.
cause. You had to have cause,
Exactly.
so it was very likely going to be infidelity.
Mm-hmm. And the other side of it was also, if you can't manage your family appropriately, how's your kids gonna be any good? Look what you did to them. Like my aunt said this out loud. She's like, "Yeah, that's how we thought. Look what you're doing to your kids," because it was an embarrassment to the kids. Because how they gonna go to school and explain their mother and father ain't together no more, right? Only they don't, when there's a function or a family event, only their mother coming. Either the kids will lie and say their father died, or they'll make something up because he works a lot, he travels, or he lives somewhere else. They won't share.
In an active community, in an active community, you
can't
have
hide.
Boy Scouts, you have Pony League football, you have Little League baseball, all these things that fathers are supposed to be involved in, and your father is being noticeably absent from these things.
This is so
And then
interesting.
there was a third big thing that they both mentioned. They said, well, then the wives, the women in the community, be like, well, if you ain't got no man, you might start looking at my man.
Basically,
So
yeah.
Yep.
That was the real one.
That's where I was about to go.
They on the Happy Days episode, they referred to the divorcee as being hot to trot. That was their way of calling. That was the thought phrase of the 1950s.
Well, I was literally just gonna say, at the end of the day, she needs some new dick. Every woman in the neighborhood knows she needs some new dick.
Yep.
Because back then it was more a woman sleeping with one man and one man only.
Yep.
So if she divorced, she needs some new dick now. Where she about to get it from?
Yeah.
Wherever she can. And she needs finance, she needs security, right? So that's what you lose when you get divorced. You lose that you're not no longer under the umbrella of my security. So that's what happens when you divorce, but you need security. And it's always that attitude, I got it, I can do this, I can do that, until you can't. And now you really gotta you gotta go looking, and you're not gonna get married again. So it just brings disruption. I think somebody said it earlier, man. Somebody said something about, well, I'm gonna destroy everything at the cost of me, right? Just because I'm just being spiteful. You're gonna destroy families, you destroy whatever, get your brothers killed, whatever the situation is, just so you can be satisfied. There's not even a proper end goal to it all. It's just spite.
And I'm gonna say, because women are the way they are, a lot of them do use sexuality. At the end of the day, the single woman needs to be protected too. So how is she gonna be protected? She got to toot that thing up and see which husband is gonna bite. Because her husband understands protecting him, his wife, his children. Well, I need him to protect me too. I got to toot that thing up for him. So maybe he ain't even looked at her, but now she's gonna be insisting upon he looks on her. So what other women get that? They know other women ain't got a bunch of skills to get a man to do stuff for them. So she gonna be looking to toot that thing up. That's why they don't want you around helping them move. They don't want you doing certain things. They don't want you fixing nothing at their house, because she don't know nothing but Let me be sexual toward him so he'll feel that that is clear.
She better get out of here. She know,
Here
them
and
women know
here's
that.
the other thing too about when they start tooting that thing up. They don't just toot that thing up at the men. They also gonna toot that thing up at your teenage son.
Mm-hmm. And your kid and your girl. Hey,
Uru,
hold on.
I was going there. Uru.
And
My mother referenced that too.
it ain't gender specific, right? So this is a whole different. We don't even have this discussion on how many women are. We was somebody talking about. I think we were talking earlier. Somebody said something about how men was getting at it at a young age, whatnot. But a lot of the women, you bring them around the women, you bring them around your girls, and all of a sudden now this is the woman that is supposed to, how women are. Women pretty comfortable around each other, right? Just naturally comfortable. I don't know where this shit comes from, but they just naturally comfortable around each other. But you don't know, some women may have ulterior motives. And now these women have to be around your daughters, your sons, right? They in they ages where they impressionable, and when they ages when they not even thinking about nothing. So yeah, man, it just brings this to me. It brings disruption, and I agree. You married, you protection. I see who your protector, you know what I'm saying, the leader of your household is. Yeah, you get some level, because even there, you got to be discreet or discern the protection that you give to some other people's household. Because again, I don't. What'd you do? What happened? That's first the question I'm
I
asking.
was
What
starting
happened?
at
And I
you,
need to
but
know. It's two sides to every coin.
7:19 is good.
And that's real talk. Shout out to the Great Black Reset. I don't know why he in the record chat saying, "Hey, Roger, hey, Roger, hey, fellas, where's hot sauce?" Is that supposed to mean something? Or tell us backstage, brother. Um, Also, shout out to Elder Blood. He says black men have to make single women and single motherhood highly consequential and extremely unpopular, not amicable, consensual, and beneficial. That's crazy. Well, I'm gonna say this: if black men just treat themselves the way they should be treated, at the end of the day, you ain't got time to worry about all this extra stuff. You know. Now, I know some of y'all are just very anti-single mother, and I totally get why you're very anti-single mother. But at the end of the day, if you look out for you and yours, a lot of that single mother stuff just goes away. We don't think about it that way because see we have been trained as men to not look at the ring like it's the deal that it is. I'm gonna always treat some married woman better. It's gonna be automatic. Some women say they get harassed, but if I see a ring, I don't even talk to you. You see what I'm saying? So if you think men trying to come approach you as harassment, because some women think that. Well, if you had a ring on, I wouldn't be approaching you in the first place. That's your fault. You the one came outside as advertising yourself as unmarried because you ain't got no wedding ring on. I don't even see how that's my fault. You did that. Now if you was married, you had your ring on, wouldn't you? Which tells me I ain't got to worry about you. You not on the market. You know, um, women look for men to help them in all kinds of situations. How come y'all won't build a park for the kids? Whose kids? Because I ain't got no kids. Myself, I ain't got no kids. So I'm not thinking about no park for the kids. So who gonna think about a park for the kids? Some husbands? Now let's be realistic. If some husband came to me and say, "Hey, Rod, we about to build this park," yeah, I probably help. Why? Because I'm just going to be amongst men doing manly things. But I'm not gonna come up with the idea to build no park. I ain't even got kids. You know? So women cheat themselves out of stuff, and then don't get it twisted, y'all. A woman can say things like that to me, but I'm gonna tell her she got to get her husband to ask me. That's one of the rules I try to live by. If you need my help as a woman, get your husband's permission.
Man,
Can I
I
stir the
move
pot a
like
little
that.
bit?
I move like that, and when I ask a client, like, "Hey, I want to talk." Oh, my husband don't make. Let me talk to your husband, and then y'all can work that out. I don't know what you and until I hear from him how he want to handle it, I want to talk to the man first. I want to talk to him. No matter how you trying to disrespect him, right? I know he's a man. I know he has capability. A lot of times, a lot of men don't even want to argue or debate. Man, I just seen some crazy ass shit. It's crazy how men relent to the point to where he's married. This is a marriage. It's what it is. It ain't meant for you to leave. It is meant for you to work this out. It didn't say perfect. It said till death do you part. It didn't say until I get tired of you. So a lot of men relent. They relent permissions and things of that nature to their wives. Right? I just don't even want to deal with certain things. And those little permissions turn into um I don't know, like they really running. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you're really not running nothing. Cause I seen it when a man say, "Hey, damn it, shut the fuck up." They go back to whenever days that got her to shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
and she shuts the fuck
Uh,
up.
And I'm gonna just say real quick, it's a whole lot safer if I just go through the man. The last thing I need to do is for some husband to come home and I'm at his house with his wife, and he don't know what's going on. Now I'm not saying I'm there for any illegitimate purpose. I could be coming to provide a service. But if he come home and he ain't scheduled me to be there, all he know is some nigga in my
I
house.
told you. I
Yes, and
mentioned that
it's
one
happened.
time I came home. I mentioned that one time I came home and there was a dude in my house I didn't know. Now it was a friend of my wife's. I had spoken with him before on the phone, but I had not met him at that point. It was fairly early very early in our marriage. I came home and at one time my wife looked at me. It was like I walked in, she looked at me. Uh, her facial expression changed because of how I was looking, and I just walked to the back of the house, and she got up and ran after me, and then she
I
said
know it's at the back of the house.
she looked shocked. She said, "Oh, that's such and such. You talked to him before, such and such, such and such." I just said, "Okay," and I just went in the refrigerator after I said, "Okay." And she went back in there, and by the time I came back up front, I was getting ready to come and say hi to the guy, and he was gone. He was gone.
I appreciate the way you said you was about
He
to go
was
say hi
gone.
to the guy.
And, and, and,
yeah.
and my wife and my wife said, "I knew from the look on your face I had done something wrong, and never again. 30 some years later, never again, not ever again."
Come on, that's the playerism in her to recognize. I don't even have. You see what I'm saying? I don't even have to say nothing. I know what this don't feel right. Let me rectify the situation. I'm on your side at all times. You
Yeah.
understand? So fuck
And
this
Tunnel
schmuck,
running.
regardless to what's going on. Brother, this ain't a good time. Get on out of here. I don't know what to what. I don't know, bro, but
And
come
bro.
back.
all right, now I'm gonna say this and get these two new guys in. My thing is this, y'all. A lot of stuff happens to people, and it be some very, you know, you think is a very incidental thing. You go provide a service to a home. Let's say you're an actual plumber. You go to fix something, but you didn't even ask about a husband. You didn't even confirm she don't have no husband, no boyfriend, no living, anything. Now you go over there to do some work, and dude just come home and he don't know nothing about it. Everybody don't get to explain their story, y'all. I want everybody to truly remember somebody on the 10 o'clock news every night,
Mhm.
every night. And guess what? It's a bunch of people that never plan on being on the news, but they on it every single night. And y'all may say, "Oh, that's not that many people." No, because every local station got their own set of people on the 10 o'clock news. It's a lot of people that go down every single night for something that didn't seem like a big deal. I'm just going to do a job. This lady hired me for X, Y, and
It
Z.
it became it became a kind of joke uh with my wife, where she would like say, I gotta get permission before I have company."
I mean, you do
Well, do
gotta
I
have a
have to have
discussion.
permission?
Shit.
She started asking for permission for her female friends. I think at that point she was kind of joking, but she Can
But
I have
just
That's
in
some?
real
case,
too.
but
That's real though. Cause I don't
just
want to
in case.
listen. If it's a bunch of them single coming over talking that shit, I don't want to hear that shit because I'm here too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just saying this because you might be going over there to fix the computer, but do he know you coming over to fix the computer?
That's
Because you
why I
may
say I
not
need to
get a
talk to
chance
the
to tell
man
him.
first.
Well,
You know what I'm
but
Talk to the
saying?
husband.
but Roger, even that, you a man in my house. I'm the lion. I'm the lion of this pride.
You
So
hear
you
me?
in my territory. So I gotta know. I got to account for the fact that you are a man in my territory.
No,
Whatever the hell you doing there.
I totally get that, but I'm saying if
Yeah.
you the man going to do the service, you need to ask that woman to speak to her husband. You know what I'm
Every
saying?
time,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause listen, women be on one.
Yeah.
Listen, they be on one, brother. Married or not,
So
they be on one.
Yeah.
They be real
I think
friendly.
Tone Runner.
No, that I was going to say the same thing. Tunnel Runner and Bronx need to get in.
Go ahead,
I'll
brother.
get in after Bronx.
No problem. You got it, brother. Tunnel Runner, go ahead, brother.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this moment. And the question was, how important is the ring? And I'm talking about the physical ring. To me, it's not important at all. It's just a symbol. I brought the cheapest ring I could find for me and my wife. I brought one. It was a day and a half worth of work, and it was like I said, it was the cheapest ring I could find because it doesn't mean anything to me. It's just a symbol. What's behind the symbol is what's important. I'm not trying to buy her. I'm trying to get her to make sure she's doing things for me, and I will do things for her. And with that expression of my caring, she can get things from that. But the first year of marriage, the farmer admin said, "Oh, she's supposed to receive some paper. She needs to do 50 years of marriage to get gold, and she needs to do 75 years of marriage to get some diamond." So all these guys buying these diamond rings, and their wife ain't putting in no work. She got to put work in to get those things, and that's the way I feel about the ring. She shouldn't be
Ooh,
getting.
that was good.
I like what you're saying, brother. I like what you're saying. Real talk. Baby, we've been together for years. Here go this copper ring, baby.
Oh, I do like that idea though. That is a
That was
good
a great
idea though.
idea.
Like real talk.
Yeah, that's
We
what
gonna
I did,
spread
and that's
that.
how I feel. She gets some. She get 50 years of marriage. She get a gold ring. Then she 75 years of marriage. She get a diamond ring because she needs to put some time, and she needs to be married to me, raise my kids, the kids be out of the house, and still be with me. Then she can get something.
Don't worry about it, bro. And when I go ring shop, I'm going to the metal yard. Real talk. Uh,
Yeah.
um, Bronx, you got it, my brother.
What up, Roger? What up, Chad? Um, how important is the ring? All right, so in relation to what the ring symbolizes, which is marriage, it's very important. Of course, it's very important in that regard. But what I believe the problem is, Roger, is that the ring really is important to them. If the ring was important to them, then they would listen to what we're telling them that they need to do to get it. So for us, I still believe that it's important. I think most black men actually want to be married. They want to start a family. They want to build something, and they want to pass it down to that family. This is most black men that I know. This is most black men on this panel. We want that. Matter of fact, we just got one guy. I don't know his name. I don't even know if I can hear him. But he just recently got married for the third time. For the third time. So obviously the ring is important to us. I'm divorced. I want to get married again. But that's the problem. The problem is that the ring is not important to them because once again, if it was important to them, they would listen to us about how to get it from us. But this is what they do. This is what they do. They will just essentially try to trick somebody into marrying them rather than being the woman that they need to be marriable. So they lie, they play games, they manipulate, they live double lives to secure a ring rather than just being the women that we're telling them to be to get that same ring. I'm laying my plane there.
You know what? I
I
appreciate that opening statement, except for one little part about some dude. I mean, you ain't mentioned him, which was cool. You know, I ain't need him highlighted in that opening statement. I didn't need him highlighted at all. But it's all right.
Oh, I missed that.
He nameless, man. He nameless. We don't know who this dude is.
We don't want to hear about the problems no more. We look at the solutions.
Uh,
I think we need to. I think we did. There's a question I think we should all answer, right? In my mind, a woman who's not married is not a respectable woman. So, and a married woman is a woman who her husband died. She's, in my mind, she's technically still married. So, if her spouse died, she still falls under his name, and she's technically still married to him even after death. So, if you don't have a ring, do y'all consider them respectable women?
Not to step on your question, but I did say I was going to get in after Bronx, so I'm gonna go
Oh,
ahead and
I'm
do
sorry.
it.
I
I
thought you
got to
did.
throw
My
that
fault. No,
elbow
no, do
in.
your thing. My
hey,
bad. No, that's my fault completely. My fault completely. Sorry, my man.
No,
Do your thing. Do
no,
your
no
thing.
problem, no problem. I just kind of wanted to kind of like, I guess, kind of piggyback off of what Tone Runner just said there, and this is kind of like a adjacent but related issue. Like we kind of have an issue with taking things outside of their meaning and value and context, like he was just saying with the whole, okay, after a certain amount of years, a gold ring, after a certain amount of years, the diamond and all that stuff. But we also have this issue where people will be in long-term committed relationships and they'll just say husband and wife. They'll just say that type of stuff, but then without actually like doing anything other than just being there in the relationship. And I'm wondering how we're going to approach that. And when people say that and act like that and move like that, when they really haven't actually done anything.
You know, I think you just gave us a great reason to simply look down at her finger. If they say,
Mm.
I ain't gonna trip that you call her your wife, but I'm gonna look at her finger and I'm gonna act a little bit different depending upon what I see.
You know, Roger, a
Well,
lot of women out there who
let
got
me
rings
ask
on
you.
their finger
Let me
still
ask a
virgins.
clarifying. Let me ask a clarifying question because the complexity of today is such that many wise men may choose not to marry, not because they have an issue against marriage itself, but because of all the legalities associated with it. So they may refuse to formally marry. So are we talking about, I mean, I can definitely understand why young men would not marry by the state rules. I can definitely understand that. And so now, so then that leaves, well, okay, are you going to get a religious marriage? But then what if you're not religious? So you want to commit, but you don't want to commit in a way in which you're legally compromised and you're not especially religious. So then what do you do?
Well, I'm gonna say you look down at that finger. Either he love her enough to get her a ring, or he don't. So even though he may not want to go in the contract with the state, I totally agree with you there. I totally get why somebody wouldn't do that. That don't mean you can't get a no ring though. If he don't like you enough to get you a ring, he's telling me something. I'm just listening to what he's saying.
I think if men respect men properly, and a man presents a woman to me as his wife, it ain't like I'm going to go look for a marriage contract. You put a ring on her finger, you told me that's your wife, that's your wife.
You can't do that, right? That's falsification.
Yeah, if he won't buy no ring, he's still saying something about her, bro.
Right. That
I
means she's
said,
single.
I said, if he bought her a ring
Oh,
and
okay,
he
my bad.
presented her to me as his wife, that's his wife.
Yeah,
Right.
that works.
But
I
that's
agree.
him lying to you. Yeah. But that's him lying to you. So what happens if you find out that that's actually not his wife and you decide to hit on her? Are you wrong?
No. If I find out that's not his wife, I'm gonna assume they split up.
Well,
Well, I
my
mean, if
thing
you
is,
decide it's not his wife, they were never together. If you
well,
find that out.
what I'm saying, let's think about it from a realistic context. if he presented her to me as his wife and she got a ring on, how would I ever find out they're not together? I'm never gonna
That's
actually
Exactly.
true.
know this.
I'm
But
not going to
but you
search
could.
public record.
No,
No,
you don't
no.
have to. But
Let
if
me
you become familiar,
let me explain. Let me
Yeah,
explain
that's
what
a
the
little goofy,
conflict
cuz.
here is. Truth teller is saying that if you're not married by the state or maybe the church, you're not married.
Nah, man.
That's what truth teller is saying.
It don't work like that in
that's
life.
what. That's exactly what I'm saying. You're
Yeah,
not
it don't
that.
work like that in life, cuz.
Basically,
Yeah.
you're no.
So
Basically, you're
and
pretending.
and again that
Nah, that ain't no pretend. You come over here
That's
messing
pretending.
with the woman that I told you is
Yeah,
my
I know
wife.
you could
Hold
feel
on,
that
hold
way.
on,
I'm not.
hold
I'm
on.
not
Whether
saying
she
that's
got a
not true.
ring or not, we got problems. I'm telling you this.
Yeah,
We
but
got
you
problems.
don't think she. Right, I hear you. But you don't think she's good enough to be a wife. Why would
Bro,
I
listen,
respect her to
listen.
be your
No,
wife if
that's in
you
your
don't
hold
think
on,
No,
she's
listen.
no,
good
he
So
enough?
put a ring on it, bro.
now
He told you this is my
True.
Right.
wife.
hold on. Can I
That
get
Hey,
doesn't mean
I ain't
she's a
said I ain't
wife.
cut off nobody.
true.
Can I get this
True.
point across
Yeah,
real quick?
do
So
your thing.
now
Do your
listen.
thing.
Again, if I pull up and I tell you this ain't even my wife, this my woman. This my
Right.
woman. You hear me? Hold on. I set the
Hmm.
boundary and the standard and the
Calm down,
protection
East Atlanta nigga.
for the saying you what are you crazy, nigga? For what it is. So now it'd be like me disrespecting you. This is the woman that you courting. You pull up with her, and because she ain't got no ring on her finger, but y'all done had life together. You didn't already freak. You sleeping. You didn't invested in this woman. I'm like,
no, but
well, I didn't went to the
hold
hold
on
on.
now.
I didn't went to
You're
the state.
changing
I
things.
didn't went.
He said you changing. I'm saying you changing details of what's being presented. He said
Exactly.
in the original example, we said that a ring was put on the finger.
He said, if the I'm telling you, if so we talking commitment now. This is what we speaking of, right? We talking commitment. It does the ring matter? Absolutely. The
Creator,
ring matters. But what
creator,
matter most, hold on, what
creator.
matter most,
You're changing. You're changing. You want me to hold on when you changing what's been presented? Now
I'm not
GBR
changing
said he
anything.
presented the woman. No, you are changing it. I mean, you changing it. Let's be clear about
Agent of
what we're
chaos.
talking about here. Now, what was originally presented by GBR was that he presented a woman to two other men. He said, "This is my wife," and she had a ring on her finger. Those were the terms that were presented, not this shit
He
that you just got through talking
bro,
about.
okay, so I know y'all really ready to whatever, but this is what he said. He said, now, and I get it. What you heard, with all due respect, he said, if she don't have no ring on her finger, he asked, and she's with
Who
you.
said that?
Uh,
Nobody said that.
Who said that?
oh, bro. Okay, all right.
No,
Nobody
nobody
said
said
that.
that.
I'm on
No,
mute.
hold on. There might be some confusion because I thought he said that at first, and I responded, and then they corrected me and said, "No,
No, GVR said she presented this woman to me. She had a ring on her finger. He said she was my wife. That's what he said.
Right.
Am I
yeah,
wrong?
no, that is what he said." I'm saying I responded as if he didn't say that, and I got corrected. So
Because he
maybe he
went
misheard
on
it too.
to say, and again, I guess everybody got amnesia for some reason, and it's cool. I'll take it because I've been dealing with this. It's okay. So now all of a sudden he got amnesia. He said, "Hey, I'm not going to go down to the and go check to see if she." And he said, "No, that's not a real marriage. If he didn't go down to the office." Now all of a sudden everybody
Right.
got amnesia. I get it. Y'all want to
No,
hit
No,
that's
back,
no,
what
but
and
I
that's
that's
know
what
that's
hey,
right,
Truth
creator.
though.
Teller
that
was
was
saying.
my
Hey,
point.
Creator
hey,
can
hey,
hit back.
hey,
Creator
no
can
That was
hit
my
back.
point.
no
That was
placeholder
my
can come
point.
up here right now and tell you what he said. No placeholder can tell you
All
exactly what he
right.
Look,
said. All right.
no placeholders point. No, well, what the point was
I
is
don't know
if
what
you
that guy said. We speaking on what the last guy
No, no,
said
hold
as
hold
to
on,
on,
what
Mm-hmm.
hold,
Buck
hold
hold
was
on. Let me
on,
coming.
clarify,
y'all,
Roger.
hold
Let me
fast, hold
clarify.
fast. That was what Truth Teller was making an argument for. That's not what
Right.
GBR said. Truth Teller was about to present something new. So you're
A
correct.
whole new
That was
argument.
said, but that was Truth Teller
Yeah, I
presenting
don't
No,
know
no.
who
something.
said what. I was just making my case on
No,
what
no,
was
I
said.
get you.
Truth
I get
truth
And
you.
niggas
teller
want to
is
Right.
pull out their
truth
gloves, and
teller
I'm gonna
is
start pulling
saying
out mine.
truth teller is saying truth teller is saying I don't care what you do if you ain't professed it to the state or your God in a religious manner is not a marriage. That's what
Right.
truth
And I'm
teller is
saying
saying.
that's
And
false.
if you and my ultimate point was if you present it that way to the public, you're actually lying, which
Right.
means you can't.
So now,
You
so
but
again,
hold on. Let me finish because you didn't hear it all out. So if you're actually lying about the relationship between you and this woman, why would I respect the lie?
Well,
because you
disrespect it and find out.
Why
You
wouldn't I
because
respect the
disrespect it and
truth?
you find out if
because
you feel that way.
what wait the reason why you respect it because if you disrespect it by going in that man's house, you're gonna be just as dead as if he got married for
You hear
real.
me? And
No,
now, like I
That's
that's
true.
said,
that. So hear me out. So hear me out, y'all. That's what my point is. The flaw in your point, in your logic, is
You changed
the
the
man
scenario.
is the man is. No, I was coming to this point. That's why I asked. That's why I stated it this way. You're being delusional because you're fooling yourself, thinking you can get a wife without doing the work to get a wife.
All right.
That's the
Hold,
delusion.
hold
Look,
fast
the
right
the
there,
I
the
already
y'all.
the,
Hold,
pulled
re,
it.
hold,
What do
the,
you
the
mean?
hold
reason
fast.
why you profess the marriage to the state or to a church is for witness confirmation that this is a
Thank
Right.
you.
commitment you've actually made.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
why you profess it to the
Okay.
state or
So,
to
and
the
I get
church.
it.
It
I
ain't
get it.
just
I hear
because
y'all.
it ain't just. Let me finish. God damn it! Let me finish because it ain't just about what you think and do. Because a marriage ain't just about you and that woman. It's about you as a part of a damn community of people. It's about you being a part of a society. It ain't just about nigga what you want to do because you just that nigga. You're a part of a family. You're a part of an extended family. You're a part of a community. You're a part of a neighborhood. You're part of society. And you need to publicly profess that connection. Now, whether you do it with the state, which is admittedly unwise to do, but you definitely damn well do it in front of some other people.
I don't disagree
Right.
with that. None. What my point
I
is,
don't disagree.
everything is not municipal, right? Everybody don't do things. Now, the one thing I do agree with is letting the state know. That's one thing. And you can draw up your contract or your nuptials however you see fit. You can get the witnesses behind your nuptials however you see fit. And if you want to go the what I call the municipal, your basic fundamental contracting negotiation skills, which is your marriage, your traditional marriage, that is the way things are done today. Yeah, you could do that as well, but we've evolved and we understand that we don't have, if it's your legacy, you decide what your legacy is. You agree to it with this woman. You put it in writing. If that's what you so choose, you ensure what it is that we talking about for our future. And then you go pull the witnesses to guarantee what this or profess this thing, right, before all the witnesses that are involved. So I ain't disagreeing with the witness part, and I'm not disagreeing with the state part. I am disagreeing with how it's done. Go ahead.
Now,
Okay.
I
Hold,
completely understand what you're saying, but what you're gonna miss is, right? Everything that you described is the agreement between the man and the woman. As Uru just pointed out, there's also a social context to this as well, right? So if you publicly announce it, great. You get witnesses, great. You go through all that, great, right? And now everybody sees you as a couple together. But most people ain't doing that. The reason why they're going the path that they are, i.e., it's just our agreement, is because they don't plan to share it with the public. That's just going to be between us.
And
And if
that's why
that's
it
the
make it
case,
easy for them to leave or easy for somebody to cut
well,
out
no,
or easy. It make it
but
easy
to
for
the
her
point,
to pull that dumb
but to
shit.
right, but to the point of why the ring is important. The ring represents marriage. If you're giving a person a ring without marriage, you're falsifying things. That's the
okay.
whole point of the
I agree.
ring.
Now,
I would agree totally.
now let me step in because we do got a more pressing issue with a young man that I seem to like him. You know what I'm saying? As a good guy around these parts. We talked to him yesterday, so I'm gonna get to him in a second. But I'm gonna quickly say, shout out to No Placeholder. He says, I'm going back through the tape, bro. Stand by. Now,
Hey, bro.
now, now, I'm gonna say, y'all, there's some inside jokes going on that I know some of y'all ain't really catching. So those are kind of some inside jokes. We can't tell you what's going on because rules are rules, but there's some inside jokes going on right now. Okay.
It's a
Uh,
brother thing, man. It's a brother thing.
now I'm gonna say this, and we got Perfect Time who came up, so I'm gonna give him the floor right after this. But I got to say something to this right here, okay? Because a random independent who was up here yesterday, he cool brother. I like the dude, so don't nobody take this the wrong way.
Random independent. That is
Yeah,
crazy.
now I think the name too, but I do like the dude. Now, as we were talking earlier, he says, "I promise." The single women with PhDs don't care whether an unaccomplished man find them respectable or not. And I'm gonna say to random independent, who cares what the PhD thinks? She a woman, bro. We determine marriage; they don't.
Right.
One of black man's biggest problems is worrying about what some woman think who's not under his leadership. Who cares what she thinks? She don't lead nobody.
Well,
Well, let me just say this:
first
when
of all, have we
PhDs,
confirmed her have we confirmed her doctorate though? Well, at least let's confirm her doctorate.
Got to confirm that now, though.
Uru.
Shout out to
When we
Uru on
go
that
to
one,
the
boy.
state and look it up, man.
Well, wow for that one.
I didn't think he was going there, but it fits. It fits.
Oh.
Yeah. So I guess first of all, we gonna have to confirm that she's an actual PhD, and then we still not gonna care. Because until women start talking about I'm finna use my PhD so I can propose, get me a husband, and I will make sure he good until he die. This is a non-concern, bro. No disrespect, because I like you. You was cool. I mean, you still are cool, yo. But bro, we ain't worried about what some woman thinks. She not finna make sure we good. We do that. So priorities are just in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? When a woman starts taking care of you, worry about what she thinks. If you taking care of her, she need to worry about what you think. That's how they go. All right. And I'm gonna turn it over to Perfect Timing Podcast. Okay, who I don't know if he's professed to having a PhD, but he don't call himself Dr. Perfect Timing Podcast, so I guess that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Perfect timing. You got the flow, my brother. You got the flow.
Salute. I left that up there from your other show. Yeah, I like it. I think it fits. If she could do it, I could do it. Shit. So,
I mean, hold on, bro. It is what it is, we ain't doing false narratives, but we making exceptions, right? See, if you call Dr. It's like when y'all shoot a shot. If you say Kobe, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, if y'all tell a lie, just say Dr. Ryan, and we good.
I like that.
That's gonna be crazy.
Oh my God, bro.
That's gonna be crazy.
That's our asterisk. But I like this topic, man. I agree with everything everybody said. What I was thinking about, and it's not really much to add because you guys have had a great conversation, a lot of intelligent men. I was thinking about the protection, coming from the protection aspect. I thought about, because I've been doing a lot of stuff on Muslims lately, and it's been a popular thing in the news about like the hijab and how the Muslim woman is. I agree. Number one, I agree the ring is important, right? And the ring would denote that she's being covered by someone, right? So that's important. The witnessing is important. But I'm looking at this from our perspective as black men, and as this is a Christian paradigm. You know what I mean? So I look at the ring and what we're talking about marriage from is really we're talking about it from a Christian paradigm. But when you look at the protection aspect of women from other cultures, there are other ways that they provide covering over their women without them being married, because you can have a daughter, and that came up earlier. You can have a sister, and that came up earlier. So without that daughter or sister being married or having a ring, there are still ways in other culture to provide a covering for them and provide protection. One of those ways is the dress. And Truth Teller even talked about, I bring that up a lot, when women didn't wear pants. I think those social norms, even without a ring, that provided some level of covering for those women of that time, right? Because if you were a woman who steadfast to not wearing pants, wore your stockings, I always talk about my mama when she got the first miniskirt. I was alive when the miniskirt came out. You know what I'm saying? So, and that is one way you could remove your covering, like not wearing 3/4 of cloth. In other cultures, if you wear your 3/4 of cloth, you wear your hijab, even men who may want to do things, they would not look at that woman, right? Without a ring, she's still covered, right? And in those times that Truth Teller brought up, if you are a woman in the miniskirt, and we get into this sometime, if you're a woman in the miniskirt, then men are going to look at you a certain way. But if you in that time and you a woman who never wore pants, You know what I'm saying? Then that's also like the 3/4 of cloth that we used to have in our culture. And that right there provided a level of covering for a woman if she adhered to those things. And that's even going back to like the divorcee, right? Staying in that marriage, staying in that covering. I was just thinking about that as you guys talked about everything you covered was genius and brilliant. But I was just thinking about like we're black and this seems like to be a Christian conversation. In other cultures, there are ways that you provide this covering for women who are not married.
All right. And I'm gonna say real quick, y'all. Shout out to Rod. Rod came through on the super chat, well, on the Cash App. He said hashtag Black Men's Leadership. Dropped 5 and said he putting it on a sandwich. So shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. I appreciate it big time. Appreciate it big time. And I'm gonna say this, y'all. When you have a bunch of married men, women are gonna get extra coverage. It's just gonna automatically happen. Because when you kick it with married men, eventually you start meeting their children. Who finna let something happen to their friend child? Nobody. That ain't how brothers get down. Okay? So yes, people are gonna get extra covering because you happen to belong to a particular man. But now let's just say you a random woman on the street, don't nobody know you. Well, I might protect you, I might not. Nowadays, a lot more folks is gonna lean to the might not. And that's just real talk, because we don't feel obligated to you. You're not really part of a community. And women keep saying that community stuff, like I said, as they're trying to extract stuff from men, whether it be your time, your energy, you know what I'm saying, your labor, whatever. They talk a lot of community stuff when they're trying to get something. But when it's time to give something, you don't really hear them saying nothing about community at that point. You know, when with the homeless brother, they won't give a sandwich to. But they want me to believe in community because they need me to clean up a park.
So what I'm saying is a lot of men wouldn't help because the community of women doesn't exist anymore and the separation doesn't exist. Before, like with Superman, there was a Lois Lane, there was a lady, right? So it would be obvious who was a woman of the night and who was a lady. And most men would go to the aid of a lady, right? But now in today's culture, that covering has been removed, like True Teller was saying, where everybody looks like the whore, right? So there is no community of women, right, that deserve to be treated like ladies. No one is, and I think women are understanding that and upset. That was what the soft grill was all about, because they're seeing that men are not coming to aid of women because men don't recognize the difference anymore. I can't tell who's a lady, who's a wife from the whore. So we treat everybody like a whore, unfortunately. So, and that's why I brought up those cultural aspects. In other cultures, you would wear 3/4 of cloth. I wouldn't even look at your hand. If I saw you wearing your 3/4 of cloth, then I would treat you like a lady. And there's a clear delineation between women, whores, women of the night, and ladies. Most ladies is going to be covered in a certain way, right? That's why I was bringing that up. We don't have that discernment in America anymore. I can't aid a woman because I don't know if she's a lady or I'm just looking at everybody as a 304. And that would be the educated thing to do in 2026.
And
You wouldn't be
I'm gonna
wrong.
say, and
You
I'm
wouldn't be
gonna
wrong.
say, women have a responsibility to tell me who they is. If I happen to run into your wife, she can say, I'm perfect timing podcast wife. Okay, cool. I'm gonna check. Hey, perfect, this your wife? I happen to run. Yeah, that's my wife. Okay, whole different set of rules, because that's perfect wife. Is what it is. I don't care what see, a lot of us, we care what women think about this type of stuff when we start separating women, because they don't want to be separated. They want everybody to be pulled down so everybody qualifies for everything. I don't get down like that, man. I'm gonna treat a wife differently than I'm gonna treat somebody who's not a wife. Now, y'all can say they hoes, you can say they whores, you can say whatever you want to call them. All I know is they not wives. And because they're not wives, they're not supposed to be treated as people that are wives. Okay, I've said time again, and I'm gonna continue saying, the greatest thing you can be as a black woman is a widow. That means you buried a brother and actually stayed married until that man passed away. You actually accomplished the goal. If you ain't a wife, you ain't even headed toward being a widow. So why would I care something about what's happening to you? You're not even in progress. It's that simple.
And I do want to re-reference. That's why I was talking about a respectable woman, like what was just mentioned. a respectable. There's certain, as I explained earlier, there's a certain level of hierarchy levels. Sorry, certain hierarchy levels to protection, right? And there is a certain level where an unmarried woman who's over the age of 18, who may not necessarily be under her father's protection, but she's a respectable lady. She carries herself respectably. She doesn't contort like a lot of these ladies. She's not dressing butt naked. She's not going to these places. She's not consorting with unfavorable folks. She's respectable everywhere she goes. You know, that could be that level. And there's a certain level of protection she would deserve in our community. But nowadays, most women only want the feel that they get when some dude is thirsting after them, which is the only reason why they dress and carry themselves the way they do, as if they're a streetwalker, because they want that attention up front, because the other women don't get that attention up front. Because remember, if you're a respectable woman, dudes ain't gonna be pounding down your door because they already know, well, she's gonna do work. I'm not gonna get nothing out of her quickly. I'm gonna have to put in work. And therefore, women see that as I'm not attractive. Men see that as you're protecting yourself. So we got to make sure we understand that, okay, if they're not respectable, we need to understand what being respectable is and is not. As
You
men
got
roaming
these
these
sucker
streets.
niggas out here, man. You got suckers out here that'll treat her. What was the term? Turn a hoe to a housewife. And I look at them like they all are some type of level or whatever you want them to be, or you wouldn't be there with them. But they shouldn't be sharing all their goodies with everybody. And when they do that and they show you who they are, you act like they not that.
Right.
Well, my thing is, it is their responsibility to tell me who they are. In a room full of hoes, how am I know you're not one of them? Now, we can say whatever you want to say. The women clearly know they're kicking it with hoes. You know what I'm saying? So you show me you're not one of them. That's your responsibility.
Birds of a feather. Birds of a feather.
Show after show after show, y'all let Truth Teller throw grenades in perfectly good conversations. He just blow it up every time.
He kind of
Every
did that
time.
today. He did that today. I ain't gonna
Yes, you
lie.
did. Yes, you did.
I'm just refocusing.
No, no,
That's all
no,
I'm
no, no,
doing,
no,
man.
no, 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 no. We don't need it refocused. It's simple, bro. That man said that's his wife. That's his wife, bro. And whether you think it's a fake wife or not, you gonna be real dead messing with that woman, man.
Now
I
I'm
don't
gonna say
disagree with you, but
I'm
you
gonna
could
say
be real
this.
dead messing
Well,
with
then you giving
somebody's
people
woman who's
bad
not a wife.
information, then, bro.
What,
That's like
what,
somebody saying, "This is my child," and you saying, "Well, I don't know if that's your child, but I'm gonna go in that house anyway." Bro, you
Nah,
still
that's
dead
not what it is.
regardless, nigga.
well,
That's
I'm
not.
gonna
See,
I'm gonna say
yeah,
Well,
from a
look,
realistic point of view.
you shouldn't violate what a particular man expressed to you.
right.
But
Yeah.
there is the accountability of declaration to the public that you have committed yourself to this person.
That's
Why
what
do
I
you?
meant
Why
by.
are there marriage ceremonies? Now, let me finish.
Mhm,
Why are there marriage ceremonies? Why are there wedding receptions? Why is such a
mhm.
big public deal about people getting married? The reason, if it's just a personal decision of you being a man, you don't go through all that. No, you do that as confirmation to the world that I have claimed this woman. She has submitted to me, and go forward with one, as you so called Christians like to say, we are of one flesh, right? That's the proper way to do it. Now, look, whether it's counterfeit or not, Truth Teller alluded to that. I mean, I think there's an argument for what Truth Teller said because, man, you were supposed to declare that woman. You were supposed to declare that commitment. That's what you're
I agree.
supposed to do in a human society.
I agree. I
But
agree. But I think there is a level of credence
hold
to
fast, GBI,
putting
hold
putting a
fast.
ring on this woman's finger. I'm not saying that they didn't get
GBI,
married.
GBI, hold fast. This is what we gonna do. We will discuss the differences in the marriages on the day that Truth Teller tells us he's gonna be available. Okay, and we'll get into all that. That's a whole separate conversation, and it needs 3 hours. It needs the 3 hours, so we'll get into that as a separate conversation. What I'm going to say is,
Y'all
at
let
the
that
end of the
nigga off the
day,
hook.
No, we're gonna have a whole conversation, so he'll be on the hook the whole time. Okay.
See, he over there
I'll
laughing.
definitely
See, he
show.
over there
I'll definitely
laughing.
show up. I'll
Yeah,
No,
definitely
he
show
knew
up.
he just skated, boy.
He about to come.
no, not at all.
He
But
about to come
everything
prepared
can't
for us.
be talked about in every conversation because that don't make for great
Yeah.
television, and we got to make great
And y'all going.
television, great internet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we got
And
to do.
and I'm
Hey,
actually I was actually planning to
reset
take
said
this
you
in a
gonna get
completely
that man
different
Tommy.
direction. I was actually planning to take it a completely different direction, and y'all niggas would be mad at me in the direction I'm going. But we'll say that for that show.
Okay, yeah,
I'm all,
okay.
I'm
Now,
already mad.
now,
I'm already mad.
Hey,
now, but
Roger,
You gonna
I,
get
I,
that
Roger,
man some time.
Roger,
go ahead,
Roger, I
Murphy.
have a question. So, how important is the ring? Like, we are OG, right? It's very important to us. Is it still important today to my sons in their 20s? I don't I don't know if I could I don't know if I could answer that as confidently as we're having this conversation right now. We definitive about it. We talking about unaliving people and shit. But so it's damn sure important to us. And I agree with all of that. Don't come in my house. The testimony Elder gave, I'm with all that. But is it that for people getting married today in 2026? Because sometimes we have these conversations and then we make ourselves sound like the OGs, right? Because yeah, it's important to us and those of us who are married. I'm married with children. It's damn sure important to me. I don't know if it's that important to 20-year-old women and 20-year-old men. And I'm not even being specific to blacks. If we break it down to that and we look at the thought culture.
Can I clarify your question? Are you
Yeah.
saying whether to get married is important or how we operate within a marriage is important? Because those are two different things.
I think you can encapsulate both under Roger's topic because I'm saying to the topic, is the ring important today? Roger said, how important is the ring? I'm conceding it's important to all of us here, to the OGs. But is it important today to 25, 20-year-old people who are getting married? And then there's this thing where 30-year-old people can't buy a house, can't get married, can't have a kid living at home. Is the ring important today? Just to expand the conversation and to create debate. It's important to us. Is it important to my son that's 25? And I'm being honest. And when I look at my nephews, and I was just around them all last night, and then we look at the thought culture, and I was just around them last night. Is the real? If we go
No, that's actually. I see where you're going with that. I see where you're going with that.
It's
That's
Memorial Day
actually a good
weekend. We're
question.
all gonna be around our nephews, our sons. We're gonna see the women. We're gonna see the young men, and it's different than what we talked about with no pants, no mini skirts. It's different now. Even the good girls look like thoughts. They sell booty shorts for little girls. I gotta check my wife, my daughter 5. I'm like, why do they even make this shit? Why do they even make short shorts for a 5 or 6-year-old, right? So what I'm saying is to expand the conversation and to make it more complex for viewership, is the ring important today? The motherfuckers getting married. It's important to us, but we ain't 25. We ain't in the dark culture. So is the ring important? Everything the elder said could fall under that. Is the marriage important? All of that shit. Is it important to the people getting married in 2026?
All right, well, let me say this, because he first said something to me specifically. So let me say this. Yeah, it is important, and this is why we're supposed to send that level of importance down the pipeline, so the younger people know how important it is. And some stuff we're gonna have to start dealing with actual realities of. That's why I don't want to be caught in no man's house and I'm stressing. If I gotta go to your place, I need to know if you married or not. I don't want no man coming in on me and he don't know I'm supposed to be there, and he's sitting there looking at me like, "What you here for?" That's not a question I even want to explain to no married man, cause he can't hear me right now. He don't know what's going on. He can't hear me.
He can't hear you.
And,
Can't hear you at
and you
all.
know what? If she trifling enough to get me over there without him knowing, I definitely can't depend on her to get me out this. So yeah, it's extremely important. It is something worth killing behind and dying behind. So my thing is, everybody needs to understand just how important this thing actually is. And I've been saying for years now, if I know somebody married, I'm gonna treat her different. It just is what it is. I would do something not for the woman, but if a man need me to do something for his wife, I'm going to do something for his wife, because the man is indebted to me, not his wife. She don't owe me nothing. I don't want nothing to do with her. But if he say, "Hey man, if you invite me to the barbecue and I show up and y'all need some more charcoal, if she asks me to get some more charcoal, that don't mean nothing to me. Okay, my thing is like, why ain't you talking to your husband? Now, if the guy say, "Hey man, go get us some charcoal," I'm going to get it because the relationship is really about me and the guy. It's not about that woman. I leave women where they supposed to be. People say women ain't got no place. They do got a place, and it's not in my face. You supposed to be with your husband, rocking whatever he got going on. I'm gonna rock with the husband so I can stay smooth. If I got to talk to that woman, she need his permission to talk to me, and that's just real talk, y'all. I ain't saying y'all got to get down how I get down, but I don't even want your wife talking to me without your permission. That's real talk.
No, Roger, I agree with that. That's been said. So I'm asking if the 25-year-olds feel the same way that you feel.
I think the answer generally is no, and we should be impressing that type of thought process on the people before they get to 25.
I
disagree,
think
Roger.
I think it's
Sorry, go ahead.
informative. I think it's informative that amongst your higher status, more educated, wealthier people, all them folks are married, and most of them are in one marriage for some period of decades, if not generations.
Yep.
So then the question is, where are you trying to go, and what are you trying to train where are you trying to train your son to go?
Okay.
That
Now,
is the real question, man.
all right, now I'm gonna say this, y'all. Shout out to Elder Blood. You want me to read a comment, but you say it's a true false on it, so I'm gonna hold fast on this just for a hot second. I'm gonna let this other brother get in, make his opening statement. Then we'll deal with that in a moment. So, oh Lord have mercy, he ain't changed his name from yesterday. Jordan likes to cross dress his back. So shout out to you, brother. Go ahead.
There he is.
I'm gonna try to leave it alone. I'm gonna try to leave it alone, Shazam. I'm gonna try to leave it
No,
alone.
that's an inside. That's an inside one. That's an
We
inside
here
one.
for this one.
That's an inside one.
We here for this.
Before the
We
game
here
even
for
started,
this.
bro.
He didn't even change
So,
the name.
He
first
did
of
that
all,
deliberately. He did that deliberately.
well, that was the precursor for yesterday. I was going to go a little bit further, but I decided to keep it here. So, first of all, I'm proud of you, man. Good job. I'm proud of you today. Good job. And proud of you today. Good job. So, as I was listening to the brothers talk about yesteryear, especially Truth Teller. Truth Teller is a 80-year-old man and a 40-year-old man body. And he talks about shit that he wasn't even born for. Somehow he knows the intimate details of it. So either this nigga is an immortal or he watches a lot of TV. So, and I hear all the other brothers talk about, baby boomers and how things was. And see, this is the situation. Things have changed, gentlemen, and change is something that is hard to do. And when we're asking about how important the ring is, we're not looking at or we're not incorporating what we all were trained to do, change management. We're not evaluating the landscape. We're not evaluating the breed of women. And we're not evaluating the risks that are here. And we're not evaluating the reward. Now, we all can agree the risk to reward ratio has dramatically changed from, when Truth Teller talks about baby boomer years and silent generation, again, which this nigga was not alive for. And then on top of that, we got to look at social media and the context of the psyche of the breed of women. And then we got to look at the reward and we have to look at the law. So how important is the ring to the woman? And more importantly, how important is the ring to the man? And then we have to look at our unwillingness to change. Because I think this is what it's really talking about. Because the value of the ring has changed. The quality of relationships have changed. Just like now, right? Back in the day, you got to get a ring. Now you can get those what is it? Those you can get the fabricated diamonds for half the price, right? You get the fabricated diamonds that are half the price, that are just as or that are just equally as good as the real diamonds, or the naturally created diamonds. Let me say that, because they're both like created real. So, gentlemen, what I would say is we got to change. I remember the first time Bronk told me how he tastes butt for the first time. Told me it was weird, but in the end,
Hey, don't interrupt the Ivy Leaguer. He's doing his thing. Y'all just.
You gotta interrupt that. You gotta interrupt that.
I'm not listening to that. Y'all was just gonna be quiet. Y'all was gonna be quiet and listen to that.
I'm gonna land my plane here.
Oh man.
So,
I swear it was 3 minutes. I swear it's been 3 minutes.
You told me when you ate that girl butt for the first time, it was weird. So I'm gonna leave you with this.
This was happen when you go to school with white boys. This is the shit, right?
I'm telling you, boy.
Just eat a little ass. It'd be weird, but in the end,
wow.
And I'm done. Thank you.
Okay.
There's a few things I thought I would never hear in my life. I just heard a couple of them. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. All right, let me reassess my whole ideology of how I'm gonna live the rest of my days. Now I gotta figure out how I can get past this mentally.
Man, it's foul, man. Flag on the play, man. That's a flag.
Yeah. And we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it after the show. We close to the show here, and we're gonna get into it after the show. We're not gonna get into it on there. Okay. But back to real life. I'm gonna just say that. Back to real life. Okay.
I like to say something that's actually real. I want to say to Black Guru, one, I really missed you. And two, I think Brunk has done a fantastic job of representing the Church of the Jordanites while you were gone, and we appreciate him. We do. That's it. I'm done.
All right, we're gonna get more into that after the show. Okay, we're gonna get more into that after the show.
Gentlemen, I think I've dropped a lot of wisdom, especially in the change, man. Let that go over your head.
He ain't for all that sappy shit, man.
I'm trying to hold this thing together, man. I'm trying to hold this thing together.
Oh, no, it's over. It's over. You can go and shut it down. It's over.
I think you're right. Go ahead and shut it down, boy.
Yeah, go and shut it down. What are the terms you're gonna give with the woman, and what are the terms that you're gonna give with the woman, regardless of where you are or what generation you come from, and what's going to be the enforceability of those terms? You can apply that in any generation. You can apply that in any geography. You can apply that in any planetary system. What mutually agreed upon terms you're going to get with that woman, and how are you going to enforce those terms? If you're clear about those, you have a chance wherever you are. If you're not clear about either of those, you're fucked, regardless.
All right, now let me say shout out to Elder Blood, because I think I did a disservice to his last super chat. He said last comment. He was saying last comment, true or false. Black men marry that. Now, right after he said that, he said, think about it, Roger, and chat. Black women's coochies are literally like hotel rooms that host multiple people. So I'm going to say, yeah, most of the sisters right now, definitely not worthy of a marriage. So to me, it doesn't shock me that they don't get married. So it doesn't shock me that they're begging all the time. I just want black men to start realizing that what they're doing is begging. Because if you want something for nothing and you're asking for people who are not responsible for you, they're not your leaders, it's begging at the end of the day, y'all. Now, I know a lot of us got a lot of pride about different things and how we see things. And a lot of us, we don't want to see women being who they actually are. If I don't owe you nothing and you asking me for something over and over again, you're begging. If a random kid in the neighborhood see you and they say, Mr. Such and Such, can you buy me a bike? Now you say no because that's not your kid. But that same kid keep asking you every time he see you. Maybe you come home from work. Maybe he see you every 2-3 days, whatever it is. Maybe you went to church and he see you every time you come home from church and he asking you for this bike and you say like, you ain't even my kid. Why are you asking me for a bike? You're going to recognize that kid is begging. That is a child who is not in proper position to even ask you for that. So when you going to do it for a woman? When women are begging us all over social media, just start recognizing that it's begging. And they supposed to beg because they ain't got no husbands. And you tell them the reason you begging is because you ain't got no husband. And if you really needed it, you go ahead and get a husband. Well, I don't like men like that. That sounds like a personal problem to me. It don't sound like my problem at all. You ain't never got to like me as far as I'm concerned. And they ain't never got to do nothing for you either. And I'm good with that. And shout out to No Placeholder. He said, wow, hold on. Bronx can't come to Jamaica? Okay. I'm gonna say you had to put that in before I'm gonna put the stop to that. We gonna let that go to after the show, y'all. We gonna leave that alone to after the show. All right.
Rob,
But jokes is jokes. All right.
I want to add something to what the elder just said. It makes me think about why in this aspect of marriage we don't talk about why did you get married and who had the ability to get married, like Color Purple, or like you couldn't get married if you didn't have anything, right? And when you say what Hot Sauce even said about change management, right? The reason people even got married, if you look at Jared Kushner and Trump's daughter, people got married to increase wealth and to increase protection, right? Like Color Purple, like I'm going to get somebody to increase my worth, right? And then I got to pay the father, and the father is going to enforce. The father is going to enforce that if this woman run off, I can go tell her daddy, and he gonna go get her, beat her, and bring her back to me. It was like no one got. It changed when broke people got married for love, right? You didn't necessarily get married because you love somebody. In another movie I liked, she would say, "You not bona fide." She said, "I'm marrying this other man," and he like, "But we in love," and she said, "Yeah, we in love, but he bona fide." And back in the day, women didn't marry men based on love. That wasn't what marriage initially was about. So I like what the two brothers just took it about change management and the exchange of what you get, right? And that has to be about how and why you get married. It changed with this Disney aspect of why you get married. Like, I'm in love, we get married. That's not why we got married. We got married to increase land. You got married to be in the business. Remember that brother that came up here and said when he got married to the woman, his wife father gave him everything. He would inherit everything. That's why you got married. That's what marriage was about. You didn't get married typically for love, right? I just want to piggyback on what those two men said.
Well, I'm gonna throw in there. We changed when we became that. Because real talk, we did used to get married for love. Then it became about business. And where has that gotten us? Because now it's still about business. Because if a woman's trying to use you,
When did we marry for love? Like,
well,
I'm just asking from a timeline perspective.
I know 100% right after slavery was. Because ain't nobody had nothing.
No, that's survival, man. See, niggas
Well,
are
but no, well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think you drew in a spacious conclusion there
Yeah,
because
I
we had our bodies, we had to make children, we had to farm land, we had to scrape things together to survive. So whether we loved each other or not, there were some very practical reasons why them folks married right after emancipation that didn't have anything to do with whether or not they were in love.
Well, I believe a song said it from back in the day. Sometimes you just gotta love the one you with.
Well, there you go. I mean, see, I think we romanticize the things
Yeah, yeah.
of the past and not know, like, hey, but it was actually kind of a different situation, and that's why I was curious about Truth Teller's age, because this nigga talking like he walked the earth for 1,000 years.
Well, here I'll give you a line, and I'll take this back. I'll take you back to the topic at
He ain't gonna
hand.
let you a dog with a bone now. He ain't gonna let that
Yeah,
one
he is. I am old. I am. But I'll say this: back to the point of the show, is the ring important? And it is, because that is what classifies a woman as a quality woman.
Yeah.
Now, if you pick a hoe, she ain't quality. You made the mistake, right? You made an unrespectable woman respectable.
And she ain't gonna be respectable. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, she still ain't respectable.
It's just a matter. She'll be
She
seen
still
as
ain't
respectable
respectable.
for a period of time, but
Well,
it's just a matter of time.
I have one final
Well,
question.
look,
Let me say this.
in a certain environment, you can make an unrespectable woman respectable in a certain environment, but those things will fall under the classification of female oppression, and thus would not be very popular today. But in certain other environments and certain other times in history, yeah, you could make a whole come legit. But
That's what
but you have to have a strong pimp, an ironclad pimp hand to be able to get that off.
Yeah. Now
Legitimize.
I do want to say yes. Back in the day, a resource have always been a thing that people have been trying to acquire. Women have always tried to acquire resources, but honestly, women would just simply decide to love the one they with, and men decided to love the one they with. And real talk, if you actually examine love, it is a choice. You don't just magically love anybody. You make a decision to love that person. And you're going to make that decision every day until you decide not to. That's the reality. I think it's not about we romanticize the past. We
But Roger, you
romanticize the idea
said,
of love
let's
itself.
clarify what you said. Let's clarify what you said. You said people married for love. That preposition is important. Now, whether they learn to love each other is a different thing from whether they married for love. And back in 1865, folks did not have a lot of romantic notions about each other. It was much more of survival and all that kind of shit. And yeah, over time, yeah, she done had X number of my babies. I guess I love her. You know, she almost died with the last child she made. So I guess I love her. I guess I gotta love her. I guess God said I'm supposed to love her. And I'm not even making light of it as much as I'm
Man,
explaining to
That
you
sounds
the
so familiar.
mentality
That's
of
some real
somebody back
shit.
then.
sounds very familiar.
Very familiar.
No, I totally get what you're saying, but I'm saying the ideal of you falling in love with this person. I don't think that's ever been a real thing. I think you simply pick a person and you choose to love that person regardless of what the conditions is. If it's hellish conditions or even great conditions, at the end of the day, you just picking a person to love, and you're gonna love that person till you decide not to. And I don't think people clear on that. How do you marry somebody and be with them for 30 years and then all of a sudden you're not in love anymore? That's a decision. That's not a life change. You just decided to stop loving them because you didn't think it was convenient anymore. And women been doing that. So, to me, ain't nothing changed. The situation has nothing to do with the situation is not going to have anything to do with how much you're going to love a person outside of convenience. If you're looking for stuff and that's your main priority, you will marry and decide to love that person till you believe it's no longer convenient for you to do so. And a lot of guys, we put this thing on women as if they're not doing stuff for their convenience. It's easy to love a man with a bunch of money. It's easy to love a man with the big reputation. It's easy to love all this type of stuff. Let you lose your job. That love get real questionable within 2 weeks. Now, who ain't seen that? I hear women talk a lot of good stuff about a husband. Let that man be laid off 2 weeks. She's starting to look different. Once that last paycheck come, that ain't like a whole paycheck, you already in a different territory at that point. So
I didn't been there, Roger. That last paycheck, that ain't a whole paycheck. Boy, that be hurting your stomach, boy. You
know. So I think we as men have always romanticized women's ideal of romance because they ain't never had it. And I know that sound bad. Women ain't never been into romance. They into the ideal of romance when it comes to book or a movie or something like that. But living through romance, they ain't never been cool with that.
No, never.
Yeah, romance novel, she'll be poor and be with this poor guy and they'll end up together and then do great things down the road. They ain't never been cool with that. Not that I know of.
Even the stories about, the princess getting her prince. I don't know if y'all realize, if you think back about all them stories, that princess had to be respectable for that prince to qualify for that prince. They don't think about that side of it. They just think they're supposed to get a prince, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's proof that the ring does matter, because men thinks it matters because they're not giving it to chicks that they don't want to marry, and women think it matters because they think they need to get one when they get married so they can have proof that they got married. Just the fact that there's a demand for the ring from both sides means it matters.
Yeah.
To the current generation, the previous, and in the future, it's going to be the same thing. Even if nobody gets married, everybody's going to know what the ring means. Men ain't going to want to give it to chicks they don't plan to marry. Women are always going to want it because they want to do the marrying. It's just going to be that simple. There's no way around it.
And I'm going to say shout out to Trail Bentley. Appreciate you, my brother, and appreciate the 57-cent tax. He says love is an action verb. It is not passive. And I'm going to agree with that 100%. Real talk. And also shout out to Landon, who says marriage is an institution to maintain families and society. It has very little to do with the emotional attachment. And I'm going to agree with that. Because I don't think the attachment is just like emotional. It's about, hey, I made a commitment. And the reason marriages have problems is because people don't want to be committed. And that's all it is to it to me. It's easy to stay married when you already committed to being there. But if you're not committed to being there, it can turn into a chore. So when women say marriage is slavery, that's a woman talking from a perspective. She didn't really want to be there. She just wanted to misuse a person. Because there's a difference between using somebody and misusing somebody. She wanted to misuse a person for a period of time. And now that it started to quote unquote feel like it's too much that she got to put in to get what she gets out of it, whatever her ideal is, now the marriage is slavery. Because she didn't want to be there. And we think women is okay to make decisions like that. Now my thing is, a woman who wants to leave her husband, she trash. This is pretty much it. For the large majority, it's gonna be they trash. You start looking at what's going on. I want to leave him because he's not making enough money. I want to leave him because he's not making me feel special. Guess what? I can't make you feel newly special because you already know me. I can do that one time. When you first meet me, I can make you feel newly special. How many women got traded good by their husband, but some new dude made them feel newly special because she don't know that dude? He ain't even do as much as the husband did. But it's special when he do it. That's because he knew. You only get one time to be new. So if you ain't for the commitment, usually you just BSing with the man anyway. But we don't see it that way. Shout out to Afro Merchant. He said, I got a horse, you got a wound. There's some land over there, and we need all the helping hands we can get. Let's make a family. Circa 1865. Long live the visual line steppers.
Oh my God.
Well, I would say, y'all, some of us was getting married while we were still slaves now.
I mean, is he wrong? Is he wrong?
and shout out to Emerald Head. He say, shout out to Truth Teller for that explanation. Hey, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. I would say, shout out to Afro Merchant one more time just for that laugh, bro.
and I'm gonna put it up to Jordan in the skirt. My aunt and uncle who were 5 years older than my mother. So one was born in 39 and one was born in 40. Actually, no, 37 and 38. Sorry, 1937, 38. Had a farm in Augusta, Georgia that I used to go to every summer. And my uncle, they had 7 kids, and they had a farm, and all them kids worked the farm, including me and my brother and my sister when we went every month. So shout out to you, sir. I am 1,000 years old. I did experience it, and I saw it.
Why you get a farm? We ain't got no farm hands. We gonna make us some farm hands.
we got some visiting nephews and nieces coming. We got some more farm hands.
Hey man, Truth Teller Del Mortar, bro. I'm telling you, that's his name, Truth Teller Del Mortar, bro.
I saw it. That's what happened when you got old parents. When your parents is old, man, you see all kinds of stuff.
Man, y'all wrong for calling that. They call it the silent era. I ain't never heard that term. That shit's crazy.
Man, True.
Yeah, it's a silent era. Yep.
True Teller grew up in a house that had an outhouse in the backyard, man.
They turn they butter, bro. They turn they butter. They walk over. They turn they butter.
Smoking a square at 10.
All right. Well, I want to say this, y'all. Because I seen some of this not too long ago. Monday is Memorial Day. So Roger ain't coming on air. It's a holiday. I ain't doing the 6 national holidays no more. I was doing it. I ain't doing those. I'm getting a break on the 6 national holidays. So ain't gonna be no show on Monday. This it till Tuesday, y'all. This is it till Tuesday. Now come Tuesday, we right back on it. All right. Now if you're new here, you want to subscribe, do your thing. It's the right thing to do. And we got you on Tuesday. But Monday, I'm chilling. All right. I'm chilling. So I'm gonna see y'all Tuesday. I want to remind y'all of that. So since we only got just over 4 minutes left, really, we finna do some closing statements and because we got to fight right after this backstage. There's gonna be a fight after this backstage. We got to get to this fight, okay?
I got chairs in hand. I'm about to throw across the floor, man. I'm about to throw.
Hey, see, now he getting it. Now he learning, bro.
I appreciate you not throwing the shares on the air because I told you definitely had a reason to do so. You definitely was presented a reason to do so. So we're gonna start on one end and simply go to the other end. So Creator, you got first, and we're gonna work our way down to Bronx. Creator, what you got for us as a last closing statement for today?
That ring means something. Choose wisely, man. Your woman gonna be your biggest come up or your biggest downfall if you choose one.
All right, appreciate you. I'm gonna throw you in the back real quick because Chef Mike done popped up backstage. Now, Chef Mike, let us know if you're trying to say something on air before I even bring you up. I should have said that, before I bring you up. Let me see if you're trying to say something on air or is you finna do something in the back.
He's trying to moderate that backstage fight.
Yeah, he warming up the stove. We about to get the cooking.
You got to be here to break up that fight.
All right. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, usual business.
What I said, I remember what I said earlier that women are good generals, bro, because they cool with sending certain people off to die necessarily, and saying, well, my son should be all right, and so my daughter should be all right, man. So what I basically tell folks is, man, make calculated decisions necessarily, because if you ain't making your own calculations, somebody is making them calculations for you. So always stay focused, always stay vigilant.
Okay, let's get man. Hey, you know what? Hopefully you can still hear me. MJD the second. I just accidentally banned you, brother. Don't trip. I'm gonna get you before we come back Tuesday. I'm gonna figure out how to get you out of there. So you in jail right now, brother. It was an accident. Don't trip. I got you, brother. I was actually going to say something about the statement you made, because but see, it might erase all his statements when you ban somebody. I think it do.
It definitely does.
Yeah, he said something about
Roger be accidentally hating on me all the time too.
No, you know what, MJD the second. If you can still hear me, brother, my bad. I should have got Great Black Reset. And that's what I was actually doing. I was trying to get Great Black Reset.
Don't worry.
That's what we doing. That's what you talking about.
MJD, I'm gonna be backstage throwing chairs for you. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
All right. who do we get last? We got your usual business. So, truth teller, you up then.
Oh yeah, I ain't got to worry about me. I'm just microwaving some popcorn. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the show in a minute. So that's all I'm gonna do.
Okay, Black Guru, you got it. Okay, Black Guru ain't studying y'all. You know you muted, right? Trying to see if is he old manning on us. Black Guru going once, Black Guru going twice.
My bad. my bad. I'm moving some stuff around. It is important. It's important for you and for the woman and for the society, but it really kind of determines where you expect to be in the world. And as I said before, ultimately it's about whether you can agree to whatever it is kind of relationship you're going to have, and then what can you enforce, you know, upon that relationship. Because if you can't ultimately enforce some mutually agreed upon deal, then it's really going to be useless for you. So whether asking whether it is important or not is really about whether you can get what you expect to get out of it. If you can, then it's important. If you can't, then it's not. It's just that simple.
Okay. Shout out to Afro Merchant. Thank you very much, my brother. He says MJD the second. Make a comment. I think I unhid you. So yeah, make a comment. Like, hopefully he did. Hopefully he did. But we try to get you back, brother. He had said something about Memorial Day was really maybe Decoration Day or Declaration Day. I didn't quite catch what he said, and it was started by black men. So shout out to you.
He's back.
Okay, you back. Okay, great. We got you back. Shout out to you, Afro Merch. Thanks for jumping on there right away. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. All
He
right.
want that smoke from me, MJD. That's what that was.
It's on you, man. Go ahead.
Hey, great show today, Roger, man. I had fun. Fantastic. The ring is important. And the ultimate reason why the ring is important is because we as men, we possess it. And we choose who gets it. So yeah, it's important. I'm gonna land there.
Okay, appreciate you. Good statement. Good statement. I almost didn't let you make it. Dr. Perfect Timing Podcast. Dr. Brad. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, the ring is important. I agree. The ring is important. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Jordan likes the cross dress. Go ahead, brother. No, I'm not doing that, bro. He's trying to get me to say it again. Now, brother, going once, going twice. Unmute yourself and say something. I ain't saying it again if that's what you own. All right, turn around. You got the flow. That's what we doing. Turn around. You got the flow.
Okay. Yeah. Remember, brothers, a princess is a young virgin. So if you're looking forward to get princess treatment, you need to find a young virgin. That's the only one who deserves princess treatment. And protect yourself at all times.
Okay. Shout out to Trail Bentley. Appreciate you, my brother. And thank you for dropping another 57 cents at the Trail Bentley tag. He said, read my last chat for MJD. Will do, my brother. Will do. We'll read your last one. He said Memorial Day began as Decoration Day, began by former slaves placing flags on Civil War vets' graves. Now, that's something I didn't know. Now that's a holiday you can get behind. Real talk. That's a holiday you can get behind. So so they gonna cover it up and make it something else to make it for everybody when it was about, the former slaves. So that sounds very white people like. I'm gonna say that. That sounds very white people like. So I definitely believe it. I believe that off Jump Street. But thank you for letting us know that, brother. I appreciate that. Shout out to you, MJD, as well. Great stuff. That's great stuff. All right. We got one more to go. And that would be Bronk. Any last words you want to make for today?
For the statement, the ring is still important to us. It's just not important to them. the ring goes where we go. So if they want the ring to be important to them, they want that ring from us, they're going to have to convince us that we need to be putting it on them. Because we can put it on anyone we choose to put that ring on. Unless you
Okay.
got unless you have hot sauce taste. God said you can't be putting a ring on Chippendale.
Now, see, I'm coming back to him because I was thinking maybe he want to get the last comment like he was doing it first. So is it that Jordan likes to cross dress? You want to go last? Or maybe he actually stepped away for a second. Maybe he actually in the bathroom at this point. Now he in the bathroom. That's what we doing. Because I ain't gonna keep saying that. I think he in the bathroom, and it is what it is. So I'm gonna close out with this, y'all. The ring is important because we say it's important. There are women who say, I shouldn't have to get married to be defined as a woman. You tell that to anybody you want to. You're not important. You're not as important as somebody who's married. It's that simple. I don't really care what you think about that. That's my decision to make. You're not as important as somebody who ain't married. If you don't want to get married, that's your business. You figure it out for yourself. I'm putting every married woman in front of you. It is what it is. I don't care what you think about it. Don't care whether you like it or not. It's my choice. And you can't stop me from making my choice. It is what it is. You have a good rest of your day as an unmarried woman, but you are not more important than the women who are. It's that simple. Now, that's no shade to any woman who's unmarried, because y'all can correct that situation because you still can get married. So it is what it is. If you want to be at the right party, get the right invitation. We'll see y'all next time around Tuesday, though. Tuesday, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. You know, I know some of y'all can go out and celebrate, do some stuff. Y'all be careful out there. Let's make it all back here Tuesday safely. Okay, let's make it all back Tuesday safely. Long live habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.